Morphicboo.com.
Why would we do that?
It's tradition at this point.
It just irritates me to my very core that I go, yeah, I'm hitting the go live button. And you're like, let me just add in some nonsense right as you hit the button. Anyways.
Just reading the screen.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys for stopping in here. We are 2 days away from me being a married man. And we're going to go through some team reviews as we often do. This will be the last piece of content you see from me in person, I guess, because the video tomorrow we already recorded, and I'm going to record my final projections takeaways for Saturday tomorrow morning. And then that will be pretty much the last time you guys see me until July 14th after my honeymoon, because I'm not going to be ripping videos in Cayman Islands because I'll get divorced before I make it through 2 weeks of marriage. So yeah, appreciate you guys in here. Obviously, if you guys want to get a team review, a 2.0, obviously you get a free 2.0 for an annual motherflocker and then a trade question. If you purchase it today, we will get to it today. One thing I would like to quickly say is, because I'm going on my honeymoon after this, if you guys have team review vouchers that you're planning to use or whatever, maybe hold off, because we don't know 1000% if you're going to do a solo live stream or not. But I would say generally, if you're hoping to get a team review covered, it's probably easier if you just wait until I'm back to submit it. But if you want Danny to cover it solo and there's a bunch that build up, obviously you can clear the deck by yourself.
Yeah, that's the thing. So depending on how many we get, we'll probably push it. Sorry, I thought you meant also the best ball live stream, because I will be going live.
You can do best ball live streams, obviously. I'm just saying, because people probably in part
they would want both of us.
Yeah, they want us to go back and forth on the output of the team. If you're wondering, if I don't get a live team review right now, should I get one, a week from now? It's like, you might not get it until 2 weeks from now is the only thing. So that's just something to keep in mind. What's going on? You're not live streaming your honeymoon? No, I think that would be explicit content to put on YouTube. Congrats, dude. Go Bucks. Yes, sir. Congratulations. Appreciate you. Let's get those likes up, guys. Bush could be prepping for his wedding instead of hanging out with us. Yeah, I can confirm that Maria is currently cleaning our house for the rehearsal dinner, and I'm in here answering team reviews. So that's where we're at. That's where the priorities are at right now.
For sure.
Another quick thing before we get into it as well. Redraft Rankings Manifesto version 1 going live later tonight. Same with the projections full spreadsheet. So if you guys are interested in that, that will be available on the site. And of course, for season pass managers or season pass holders and underdog code users. So Danny, let's get into the trade questions here. We have Dylan DFF. Trade example. My concern are, who are my ship outs? Okay, so I guess he's saying this is maybe the framework of the trade, because I don't imagine this is actually getting accepted, but maybe he's saying, like, I'm curious, like, I want Jaden Daniels and Jackson Smith and Jigba. How would you get to Jaden Daniels and Jackson Smith and Jigba is maybe what he's asking here.
This is also an old question, because I actually just finished his team review. He doesn't have Cam Ward on the roster anymore, because he actually, I was mentioning it to you, but he was able to move, I think, Cam Ward, Zay Flowers, another piece in a second, and he got basically Jalen Hurts, CeeDee Lamb, and Travis Kelce out of it somehow. So
yeah, he said, I got he in the DMs here, he said, I've made a trade for Hurts and Kelce, like you guys talked about in my trade review. Gave away some young potential studs in Cam Ward and Chris Bell, but you got Hurts
it was Chris
Kelce
Bell
for Cam Ward and Chris Bell? What the hell? Anyways.
This shed.
And then the next one, he said, I got a deal done for CeeDee Lamb, giving up Pollard, Flowers in a second.
Like, Pollard, Flowers in a second for CeeDee Lamb?
I mean, you should keep making trades, is what you should keep doing.
Bro, what? Also, yeah, Gabriel. I was just mentioning to Corey, but yeah, England was down 1-0 when we hopped.
No matter how much I say I don't care, Danny will still mention it to me. But yeah, I don't know how the hell Dylan got all the World Cup done.
It's the World Cup, my guy. Lighten up a little bit.
I'm getting married in a day and a half, and I really could care less about World Cup talk right now. Yeah, literally Pollard, Flowers in a second. That is a welfare check indeed. Again, if you're looking to go and acquire Jaden Daniels and Jackson Smith and Jigba, based on your team, we can maybe give you a piece of advice here.
Yeah, look at the squad.
Based on the trades you've been able to do, I mean, you should probably able to get it done for Kyler Murray, Cam Scatterbo, Chris Olave, and a first.
Well, real quick, I can actually just quickly pull this up. Boom, boom, boom. It is what Dylan DFF. And loading. Does that load? Perfect.
Yeah, there you go.
I popped it up here, but basically I said, hold on to your elite producers. Obviously, your juggernaut, you're going to want the production. Lamb, Genty, Etienne, Henry, AJ Brown, Travis Kelce, guys like that are going to be very, very productive for you and help you win the championship this year. Another one here, tier up from Tedero and McMillan into more production. Can you take, Garrett Wilson, 27 first and McMillan? Can you go after Puka, or you go after Jefferson plus Kyrie?
I mean, JSN is who he's after in this trade. I would trade Tedero McMillan, Garrett Wilson, no question for JSN if you could get that done.
I would attach it first if I have to, given your team.
Yeah, I mean, and if you can somehow tier up from Kyler Murray, because again, given the exploitability of his league market by the looks of it, maybe you can get Jaden and JSN for Tedero McMillan, Garrett Wilson, Kyler Murray, and a first or something like that.
Yeah, never hurts to try for sure. But George, these trades are insane. You're not wrong.
Anyways, let's keep going because Dylan's league mates are going to want to leave this league soon. Bfi 27 here took over in March and went into a rebuild. So he got Menengai, Strange, and
I mean, you have Golden buried, but I think this is a fine deal.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the very least, if you're high on Golden, him and Menengai and the third probably would cancel out. Like if you're high enough on Golden, the Menengai and the third, and you just get a free Brent and Strange. But I actually would prefer Menengai straight over Golden. So
this is nice enough for me to accept, even though, I mean, it does feel like sunk cost fallacy. Oh my God, Golden was a top 10 pick last year. Menengai was like a 4th round dart throw. So it feels yucky. Like, oh, I'm basically trading Golden for a guy that was picked in the 4th. Brenton Strange in the 3rd. Like, it doesn't feel good, but also at the same time, with the context of what's happened in the year, without, considering that sunk cost fallacy, that Matthew Golden was a 1st round pick, but Matthew Golden didn't produce at all as a rookie. I think you do have to go with the Menengai side.
Yeah, I don't disagree there either. In a vacuum, I'd rather just get like a 2 and a 3 for Golden and just re-roll those picks in a rebuild to better assets than Menengai, Strange, and a 3rd. But I think this is a decent return for Golden. Yep. Same submitter here. Cam Ward and Malik Neighbors in exchange for DJ, Quinshawn, Tyson, and Kelce. Close. Yeah, this is Neighbors' side, not close. And I'm not even super high on Cam Ward, but I think
you have him buried 91 overall. Holy shit.
I think if you're high on Cam Ward, him and Jordan Tyson would be about equivalent. I'm not super high on Cam Ward, but Neighbors being a part of that deal makes it pretty easy to go after it there.
Yeah, I think I have both Tyson and Ward higher than you do. Like if I check, that's assuming picks are included maybe in those, or are picks included in those overall rankings, or is that without picks?
Picks are included in the overall rankings.
Okay, so that makes more sense. So Ward minus, let's just say it's probably you have 7 or 8 rookies ranked over him. So he's more like your 83rd player then, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, makes sense then.
Are picks not in your rankings?
They should be, but I'm just not sure if it shows up on this end with picks.
It will show up here if picks are in.
Okay, because I know on the rankings,
if you had a pick in the trade, it would say what overall the pick is.
Fair. Yeah, good point.
Do I pull the trigger for RB3, wide receiver 5, or keep installation? So essentially, I guess he's a contending team by the looks of it.
It's just too much. Like Price versus Brown to me washes, and this Parker Washington
does not wash to me.
Okay, even if you prefer Chase Brown, like they're semi-close. And Parker Washington, as much as you hate him, Sadiq is well above Terry McLaurin.
He's not
by you. Yo, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I'm completely on the other side here.
It's not that I don't like Kenyon Sadiq. I recently moved him in my dynasty rankings below Pitts, Laporta, and Kraft because and the reason I did it is because I'm kind of expecting Sadiq to maybe be a little bit of a volatile market value type of asset. I
wouldn't take McLaurin over him though.
As a rookie.
You weren't getting the 106, 107 for McLaurin on the market in April. I think that's overreaction.
Yeah, so to be fair, I actually need to move Sadiq up because when I moved the tight end
I figured
around the overalls, there was a big jump from tight end where Pitts is ranked and where Sadiq is ranked. So he's probably closer to like 95 in my actual rankings or 90 in my actual rankings. But
McLaurin's one of my guys, dude, but there was no way you were advocating people to sell the 106, 107 for him straight up in April. So I feel like it's an overreaction.
I'm not. You're right. And first, Sadiq is my 108. So
fair. So yeah, 107, 108.
But yeah, and you're definitely right. And I don't know why it's showing that I have McLaurin at 91 overall. I guess it's a 1 quarterback league, so that's I guess maybe the difference here.
Damn, 106 and a 1 quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, 106 and a one quarterback, no tight end premium, which Sadiq would lose value in as well.
Yeah, still. I mean, 10 teams start 9. The upside that he could be like the tight end 5, tight end 6 in Dynasty as a young player.
I'm just not convinced that he's going to do all that well as a rookie. I think he'll be okay. I think he'll have his moments, but I don't see him gaining a bunch of value. Like, he's tight end 7 to 9 right now on Dynasty markets for most people already. And I don't see him really being better than that after his rookie season.
Yeah. I just frankly think, unfortunately, the reason why the bar shows like that is he picked 2 of your guys and he picked 3 guys you're very much lower than market on.
I'm not low on price.
Well, okay, two of the 3 guys you're lower on than the market.
Yeah, I mean, price I'm about in line with everyone on the site. Washington I'm definitely lower on, and then Sadiq in one quarterback leagues, I guess his number got buried there. But I would say this is about fair. If I'm a contending team, getting Chase Brown is worth it to me, man. Chase Brown is literally my 9th best player in redraft.
I want the left side. I'm curious. If I put it in by my rankings, it's a 10-team start 9. See, like we gotta get the consensus FSC on the fucking. I've asked so many times.
You gotta ask the devs for it, brother.
I've asked it before. I guess it just gets muted sometimes. What if Sadiq has an Arroyo season? Well, the main difference there is Arroyo's not very good at football, and Sadiq is. So
yeah, but I wouldn't say that Sadiq was much. Sadiq was as raw as Arroyo was. Sadiq ain't much more talented than Arroyo. But
Sadiq ain't getting AJ Barnard by Mason Taylor. Let's be perfectly clear.
No, he's definitely not getting AJ Barnard. But I wouldn't be shocked if he has like 500 yards, 5 touchdowns, nothing special though.
Probably back weighted. I don't think that's outrageous. I think like probably first 7-8 weeks. But
even in this form, it's a one quarterback's 10 teams start 9. I want the hammer producer in Chase Brown. Even if it says you win, it's probably more of a you slightly win or a fair trade based on some of the stuff that I just said. But I would take the Chase Brown side very slightly.
I viewed it as a free Parker Washington personally because I think Sadiq plus Price and then the other 2 kind of cancel out for me.
Saquon in a mid to late second for Kenneth Walker.
Probably fair.
I mean, he's got like the best team in the league. I have Barkley ranked over Walker in redraft. And your team is very clearly a contender. So
I would do the deal.
I'm fine getting younger if you want to just get younger on Kenneth Walker. Like by my rankings, it says you're robbing them. So I'm fine doing it. But yeah, I think it makes sense why you're doing it, but it does also make sense to hold the production of Barkley. But I think it's like 55-45 Barkley outproduces Walker. Like I'm not supremely confident that Barkley will outproduce Walker like every single time, twice on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm on the Walker side. Just even in terms of production this year, I do like Barkley. I moved him up to 17 because initially I had him lower than that. But when I'm looking at Walker, I'm just seeing workhorse type of upside and what I think is going to potentially be a better offense. And I'm more worried about the Eagles' offensive line than you are without Stoutland. Too.
Yeah, I mean, ESPN still has them ranked like 2nd in the NFL, so I'm just not really worried about their offensive line.
To me, that's wild because they were an average unit last year. You lose Stoutland and you only get older, and I mean, they were really much injured last year. So
yeah, but again, I think this is it's just preference. Get younger with Walker.
For I think you do that, yeah.
Justin Jefferson for Marvin Harrison, Parker Washington in a late first. I think I'm cool buying JJ for this.
Yeah.
As much as I like Harrison and Washington's fine throw in, I don't think that you're getting a significant. Like this could obviously work out in reverse, where like Harrison has a breakout season and he's by himself more valuable than Justin Jefferson at the end of the year. But I think this is a worthwhile swing to take on JJ.
AJ, you got here right when we got to your trade, so shout out Ginger Ale.
All right, so into the reviews and shout out to Staff Infection, craziest name other than Dick Cheese Accumulator.
Yeah, DCA is a legend.
Yeah, DC, like a Staff Infection has got to be up there as the most goated name.
Definitely.
This is a DD 2.0. And also, I will say these will be time-stamped for those of you guys that are getting your teams covered after the stream / during the stream. I'm time-stamping them. So you can go back and check through, but you also have them in the Flock DMs. And after we review the team live here within a few days, you'll have your Dynasty Decisions 2.0. And again, for those of you guys just joining us, if you want a DD 2.0 or a Dynasty Decisions live team review, I would suggest getting it ASAP, like today, because we may not have a stream next week because I'm on my honeymoon. We might if there's a bunch in the queue and Danny wants to clear it out solo, but generally it would be probably better for you guys if both of us were on the stream talking through the team. So if you have a team to break down, today's your chance for sure. All right, Staff Infection, strong rebuilder, said, howdy, boys. My team is in this league is called Staph Infection. Thinking of tanking as much as I can for Jeremiah Smith. Have a deal in the works with Alpha Lit Knight to trade Hampton and Burden for Neighbors and Judkins. League tends to try and compete. Not many are rebuilding, so hence why he is a strong rebuilder tag. So yeah, he wants to trade Hampton and Burden in exchange for Judkins and Neighbors. I guess the purpose there being that you get Neighbors not producing right away. Judkins probably not as productive as Hampton. You're shedding some points to help yourself get Jeremiah Smith.
I have Hampton right next to Neighbors in my rankings, and I have Burden a good bit higher than Judkins.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I have Judkins over Burden in my rankings, and I have Neighbors over Hampton in my rankings. So I would be comfortable doing this. And again, even if you're a little lower on Judkins, higher on Burden, you understand the strategy of trying to get Jeremiah Smith, obviously.
Yeah, I understand it. I just I look at Genty and Hampton, and if I can still get Jeremiah Smith anyways.
I mean, he's number 9 in contending value, having, a player in Amari and Hampton who's, 1-2 turn pick in one quarterback formats. Luther Burden goes higher in ADP and redraft than Judkins does as well. So
I would rather just get the Burden Judkins swap off of it. Can you do Hampton and something small to get Neighbors? I would rather do that then.
Yeah, that's fair. I think if you want to go in that direction, you could. Again, we're a little bit split on that decision for that trade. Danny probably wouldn't do it. I would be totally fine doing it because I do really like Judkins. And I'm a little wary of Burden and his outlook. He said the league tends to try and compete, and not many are rebuilding. So in that league market, you have some obvious like long-term hammers: Jaden Daniels, Ashton Genty, Brock Bowers, etc. I'm not opposed to selling any of those guys for like a Godfather offer. Like if somebody's going to offer you, especially for the one of the two Raiders, because you have both of them, if somebody's going to offer you like 3.5, 4 first-round picks of value for either of Brock Bowers or Ashton Genty, knowing that you're trying to tank for Jeremiah Smith, it's not the worst idea to maybe sell those guys off if you have a buyer with that kind of, pick capital lined up.
Yeah. On top of that, I mean, realistically on the edges, this is a super flex, correct?
It is a 2 quarterback, 12 start 10.
So, I mean, at that point in season, Daniel Jones, if he looks fine off of his Achilles, obviously Tua Tagovailoa, if he does win the job. Geno Smith, I'm a little bit higher on the Jets offense, so maybe you can get, decent value for him in season. Contender rolls around, quarterback gets hurt, you can somehow get them to give you their late 2 or something like that. Probably would make sense at that point in season. Otherwise, I wouldn't really rush a move there. Running backs, pretty similar concept. If you can move Hampton and a move for Neighbors, I think it makes sense because, like you said, you shed some production. You still maintain elite value at wide receiver. And then on top of that, you don't get the production. I already just said you shed production, but like if it's not
people armed to the tits with like picks. Yeah. Like there's no like players in this league with 3 to 4 first-round picks of liquidity built up that you could just sell Genty, Hampton, Burden, Bowers, Jaden Daniels to. And that's why I think he mentioned here, like, not a lot of people try and rebuild in this league. So collecting first-round picks will probably be pretty easy if you have players to sell them for. But the problem is someone's 27 and 28 first isn't enough for Ashton Genty. It isn't enough for Amari and Hampton. It isn't enough for Jaden Daniels. So I wouldn't be opposed to doing like what you said, using Hampton plus a piece to getting Malik Neighbors just by itself, like just that part of the deal, and then selling Luther Burden for someone's 27 and 28 first. And if you have to tack on an Xavier Worthy or a Jonah Coleman or a Tyler Algier second round pick or something like that to get 2 1s out of Luther Burden and shed that production off of your team, I would rather do that than the Judkins and Neighbors deal that you outlined previously as well.
Yeah, I think that would make sense because realistically, I do think you have a strong shell of the team. Obviously, you're going to need one more quarterback. You need to fill out your depth, especially at wide receiver.
I mean, you got to sell Daniel Jones also. He's just going to put points up in your lineup that you don't want.
Well, that's what I mean. So, like, if you can get rid of Daniel Jones, Tua, Geno Smith specifically, I think those are the guys that are going to net you the most in value. So, in terms of the DD 2.0, that's going to be one of the decisions. The other one would be, like if you can sell on anybody that's producing worth a pulse in season. You mentioned the Burden move. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I'm higher on Burden overall. But if you can get my type of valuation for him, and like Corey said, that would probably
2 first of value as possible, I think is the best way to get rid of Burden. And like I said, if it's week 4, Burden is having a nice start to the season, and Tyler Algier is like a 50-50 split with Jeremiah Love, maybe you could sell somebody on Algier and Burden for their 27 and 28-1.
I mean, Barner could start hot at tight end, and maybe that guy would need a pivot at tight end, hypothetically. You mentioned Worthy. Even
Mooney
like
maybe starts hot with neighbors banged
Jerry
up
Judy
right
could
away.
too. They have two
Jerry
rookie
Jeudy.
wide
I mean,
receivers.
Emmanuel Wilson could be a big
Yeah.
part of the Seahawks backfield. Yeah.
Um,
Any guys that spike and you're like, okay, I can somehow get a 3rd round pick for Emmanuel Wilson, and I know there's no chance I'm going to have another opportunity to get a 3rd round pick for this guy. Just get him off of your team. Same goes for Algier. Same goes for Tua if he's starting the season right away. Geno Smith, like all of those quarterbacks, other than Drew Aller, need to be off of your roster. Like find the weakest quarterback room in the league and offer them Daniel Jones, Geno Smith, and Tua Tagovailoa if they are lacking quarterback depth. You know what I mean?
Let's just say hypothetically, like you said, Burden's worth a 1 and a 2 normally. Whatever type of noise you have to add to that offer to get it to 2 1s, you do. Again, like a lot of people might feel more comfort, like, oh, I'm willing to give up the 2 1s because you gave me 3 extra names that make me feel cozy. And it's like, for us, we would rather cut the noise, get a cheaper price. But for some people, they would rather overpay in cost for the security of the depth.
Yeah, the multiple outs of winning the deal. Like if somebody gave you their 27 and 28-1 for Luther Burden and Tua Tagovailoa, instead of them only relying on Luther Burden to make that trade worth it, they also could get a starting quarterback long term as part of that.
Exactly.
Deal.
Also,
let's get those
16 likes. Let's get those up.
That is ridiculously low. But yeah, I think Staff Infection has a good idea of what he's doing. Hopefully, he gets his staff figured out soon, so he can rename his flock username. But yeah, I would say you're on the right path. Continue to shed production. I think buying neighbors shows me that you're kind of you're right where you need to be mindset wise. You're like, oh, if I go get Malik Neighbors, he's going to be good for my team long term, but bad for my team short term, which is exactly the type of move I'd be looking to do in your position as well. So obviously, we'll detail more in the Dynasty Decisions 2.0, but I'm sure it's going to be relatively on the same page. It's like go and acquire more picks, shed production, and maybe sell high on one of your big assets if you can get the requisite value for it.
Hey, Corey, I just saw the update. You remember what I said about how unlikely would it be?
Danny, if this is about the World Cup, I swear to God.
It's 2 seconds. 2 seconds. In the 70th minute, Congo was up 1-0. I literally said to you before the game started, what are the chances that England scores 2 goals in the next 20-something minutes? Because I said, like, it to go to extra time is a better bet than betting England to advance because England was like -120 and to go to extra time was +170. The only way it wouldn't work out is if England scored 2+ goals and they're up 2-1 somehow 15 minutes later.
Sure.
I go to check the score and I'm like, oh, it was 1-0 last time I checked. Now it's fucking 2-1.
Harry Kane clutches up. That's the most English name I've ever heard, by the way.
Harrison
Kane. That's crazy.
Harrison Kane. Sounds like an elite second line winger in the NHL, eh?
It does, yeah. Speaking of Kane, we could see who invited this soccer lover. Yeah, we don't talk about fake sports on here. You get one more soccer related interruption the rest of the live stream. Make it a good one. If it's like, oh, England's midfielder just threw the ball at some guy's head or something, that's it. That's all you get.
Game's almost done anyways.
All right, the Jerry Sandusky's. That's not the first time we've seen that team name, and I don't even think it was from Jake last time as well. Maybe
I think it was.
All right, so we got start 11, 6 point per passing touchdown, 0.75 tight end premium. Startup just finished today, and he said, I fucking love this team. $50 league, huge hard on for this one. He said, what moves should I make? Had a guy offer me neighbors in his first for Puka. Don't think I should do it. I mean, that's a pretty good offer for your team, man. I mean, you're a strong contender, so I suppose you're like, hey, Puka Nacua, JSN, Carnell Tate, Nico Collins, etc. Right out of a startup, I would say this is like a pretty strong, well-built team. However, you have a bit of a house of cards at running back. So I don't know. What direction would you take this? Because I agree with him. This is good value. He was able to collect a pretty good team out of the startup. But he did trade his own first-round pick away. So
question:
Are you going to commit to the contending window, or are you going to take that neighbor's Puka deal, maybe try and go get your first back, maneuver it for a 1-year punt type of thing?
If I make that type of deal, my counter would be, again, you technically have JSN ranked higher, but I think if you keep Puka, I project Puka to do better this year. So you'll be able to, quote unquote, stay afloat while Neighbors gets healthy. Then at that point in season, maybe your record, instead of being 8-1, like you're taking a little bit of risk. You could take some losses in that stretch. Absolutely. That's like the downside of it. But the upside of it would be if you tread water, you have an extra first to be able to spend in season. Maybe by then, Neighbors by week 6, week 7, week 8, let's just say it's not 100% Neighbors, but let's say he can get to a 17 point per game stature. Obviously, that's going to be a loss because JSN might be a 20 to 21 point per game producer. But if Neighbors like 16 and a half, 17 points per game, I still think the first is worth moving down in that instance.
Yeah,
it's risky though. It's a gamble.
Henderson and Irving are your top 2 running backs, and you might need to, like, if things are going well, but like your running back 1 is like the problem, and you can sell, your 27 first that you got from that guy plus, Michael Pittman, who's having a breakout season for a running back producer, then that obviously, like you said, like a Chase Brown or something like that would obviously make some sense there. So yeah, I think.
What's the starting lineup in this league? I'm curious because like
it's a start 11, so it's a pretty deep starting lineup.
Dude, in a start 11, if I tell you can change that first into Chase Brown in season, and then at that point, week 8, week 9, I would take Neighbors and Chase Brown in a start 11 over Puka in a redraft perspective.
Chase Brown's
or JSN
for start. He definitely will be in season based on how I expect.
I don't think he's worth 2 firsts.
I would pay 2 firsts for Chase Brown.
I think there's maybe 5 or 6 running backs with 2 firsts in Dynasty.
Maybe, yeah, but I think Chase Brown is close to that territory. At the very least, he's worth like a 1 and 2 2s.
Well, I think I would be more like 27 first, but
what is Chase Brown worth? If you were to buy Chase Brown a contender, what is the highest you'd feel comfortable paying? For me, my own like mid to late projected first, and my mid to late projected second in 2027, and then my mid to late projected 2028 second, I'd be very comfortable paying that for Chase Brown.
I would view Chase Brown as a little bit less in value to what I'd pay for James Cook, what I'd pay for Jonathan Taylor.
I view him as the same. I mean, he's the same age as James Cook, and I have him higher in redraft.
He's not on the long-term deal.
The only difference is the contract, which I expect Chase Brown to earn this year.
Yeah, like a contender's first, I think, is probably where I'd be at. If it's guaranteed to be late, I would say a 1 and a 2, but like that's about where I'd be in line. I think ultimately, obviously, you're buying the points this year. If he gets that extension, he could get a little bit of a value bump to be in the James Cook, Jonathan Taylor range. But there is still the risk that, like, what if they draft a running back next year? What if they decide to get cheap?
We've been saying that for 3 fucking years with Chase.
Sure. But until he signs the dotted line and signs an extension, there's always going to be the risk. James Cook, Jonathan Taylor, you don't really have that risk because Jonathan Taylor, let's be honest, you can get like $18 million wherever he goes.
I guess, but like, man, Chase Brown, I have ranked over Jonathan Taylor in redraft, and he's a year and a half younger than him.
So that's the thing. I don't have him above James Cook and Jonathan Taylor in redraft.
Yeah. I mean,
I like him a lot.
You have to admit that they're pretty close though.
In redraft, yeah. I'm not saying in redraft. I'm just saying because those guys, like Jonathan Taylor is a lock unless he has a devastating, knock on wood, devastating injury this year. He's a lock to be paid like a top 3 to 5 running back in the free agency cycle, even if it's not with Indianapolis.
Yeah.
And then at that point, you have James Cook already on the extension with a great situation.
This is why I'm perpetually talking about Chase Brown in Dynasty trade targets by position, is because I just think he exists in this world where I think his production and value long term is worth 2 firsts, but you do not have to pay 2 firsts for him. So that's why he's always perpetually a buy low in my mind, because like I think you can. I paid him mid 2.
Oh my God.
3s for Derrick Henry and Chase Brown 2 years ago. Yeah, that's crazy.
Is that guy still rebuilding?
Yeah, that was Mason Dodd that he sent that to.
Oh shit! Wow, the Sharks overpaid for Jacob Trouba. Oh my God.
I guess I didn't make the stipulation on hockey.
Hockey's fine. Jacob Trouba got over $8 million per year. Corey, he's making $600K less per year in the next 4 years than Lane Hudson.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Jacob
crazy.
Trouba.
I don't. Yeah, whatever.
Sorry.
What else would you suggest with Jake's team here? This is not a 2.0, if I'm not mistaken. No, this is not a 2.0. So would you trade Carnell Tate into a competitive wide receiver, given Carnell Tate's age and market value and that kind of thing? He probably got a good value on him in the startup, I would imagine. I guess that's the only thing.
That's the problem. So I'm higher on Tate, both from a dynasty and a redraft perspective. He's a top 24 for receiver for me in my redraft ranking. So if you're trading him for production, I would need at least like a top 15-ish wide receiver to counterbalance.
Because Nico would be exactly who I would suggest, who's already
Nico
on your
would
team.
Be about that.
Yeah,
like
maybe if you wanted to get like
Rashee Rice.
Given his running back core, if somebody offered me like Derrick Henry and Chris Olave or something like that, I would be okay with it.
Yeah. If you could put like that would be fine. It's just again, Carnell Tate's my wide receiver 9 in Dynasty. Like I'm all in on the train. Like I'm willing to take Carnell Tate in the early 3rd round. So unless you're getting specifically a receiver that I would at maximum sacrifice 10 picks of value in a startup.
Yeah,
and like
I'm trying to
Nico
find,
Rashid would be that range.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a team that would maybe be in the market for selling a running back that you could get a receiver and a running back from. Like
I got Chase Brown for Jordan Mason when he was underperforming last year.
That smell. Sorry, how did this guy right here, Danny, sold all of his picks and this is the team he has?
What is that? What is that receiver core? Oh,
Jalen Coker's wide receiver too. He has no picks in the next 2 drafts somehow.
Bro, he's all in though. He's all in.
But like when I look at this team, I'm like, what did he trade? Like all of his picks to go from his 2nd round pick to go get Jahmyr Gibbs in the 1st round? Like that's literally what looks like happened here.
Bro, you can like obviously Josh Allen versus Jahmyr Gibbs, you're just not getting in a startup. But like, let's just say that instead of Jahmyr Gibbs, that was like Ashton Genty. I would say that's like a mediocre startup team. Like the team that you just showed, the all in.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell that guy's doing.
What the fuck? Future orphan, you're not wrong, Big B.
Yeah, this guy right here is in a position where maybe because he has Neighbors and Chase and some of these other guys, maybe he'd be open to doing like a Carnell Tate plus Travion Henderson for like James Cook, Josh Jacobs, AJ Brown. Something like that, where you can get his competitive running back and wide receiver assets and you give him a young running back and a young receiver in return. And he might be like, oh, that actually makes a lot of sense for me. Now I'm rebuilding. I have just Travion Henderson at running back. I have Neighbors and Chase and Travis Hunter and whatnot to build around. Just floating out a trade offer that you could maybe go and send out. Because he did basically, that was the only question he had was what moves would you make? So for me, like Danny kind of mentioned at the beginning, I would be more comfortable selling Jackson Smith and Jigba plus the 1st for Malik Neighbors if you want to stay in your competitive window, because Puka is going to be more productive this year. And I actually need to move Puka ahead of JSN. In my dynasty rankings, I only had Puka down below because of the whole like off the field shit that he was going through at the time. But generally speaking, I think you did a really good job out of the startup. And I really like what you're able to do. And if you get that 1st, I think it's really important to have it because you're going to maybe need the buying power for a running back in season. So we can keep going here. We got just Jaush. Teamer was reviewed 3 weeks ago before my rookie draft. Did we do a 2.0 for this? This is his 2.0. No. So maybe he didn't do maybe he did a regular live DD.
Oh, maybe he submitted the team that we did the 1.0 for a 2.0 then.
I think that's what ended up happening here. So we talked through his team already by the looks of it, but this is now his 2.0 that we're going to be talking through in this one. So just Jaush. I have to say it completely aggressively because that's how it's spelt. So after his rookie draft, it looks like he was able to walk away with Kenyon Sadiq and some other lower end guys. I think Sadiq is pretty much the only high end rookie that I can see on his roster. The bright side about this team is that it's a pretty well set up rebuilder because you have,
there's a simple path, very simple path. CJ Stroud has a value bump in season and you want to get off the volatility of him and you can get at that point maybe a 1 and a 2, you sell CJ Stroud. Breece Hall, Quinshon Judkins, if they're producing like fucking madmen in season and you want to sell, Breece more than Judkins because of the age
Judkins
complex
is 22.
there.
You're probably fine to hold him.
But like, let's just say like Judkins spikes up and he's the wide or the RB6 in dynasty value. Like you could theoretically get like 2 1s at that point. Let's just say. That would be the only real scenario I would sell him though. Breece Hall though, I mean, I'm higher on Breece Hall in terms of production this year. I think the offensive line's pretty good. I think obviously the receiving profile is nice. Like he could very well be a 17 point per game producer. And then at that point, he's going to be in the Jonathan Taylor, James Cook value range, kind of what you were saying about Chase Brown just a second ago. Like I think Breece Hall could also be the type of guy that would ascend because he did just get his extension. So wide receivers, obviously Malik Neighbors not going to produce right away. McConkey, I'm very bullish on from a redraft perspective. I think given what you probably invested into versus what you could get out of him after the year, I think that was a very worthwhile investment. Obviously, I'm higher on Luther Burden. I think Jameson Williams is also a guy that you can sell in season. So overall, when I'm looking at this, like there's like 4 candidates of guys I'd be willing to sell from a production standpoint. But I do think it's well structured, and I do think this is a house money team through and through. And I think once 2027 happens, it will be the start of your window.
Yeah, like when I have a team like this, all I'm really looking for is production spikes and value spikes, right? Like if Lad in our mind during the season is worth like, let's say 2 firsts because he's breaking out, and for some reason people are treating him as like dynasty wide receiver 5 or something like that, then you could always sell high on him as well. It's really all going to depend on market volatility and what people are offering you. But like you said, this is pretty much perfectly set up to just be kind of what, the 104, 103. Like you're not going to be the worst team in the league, I'd imagine. Like if I sort by contender value, you're actually, he's 11th in contending value. So it's possible maybe he has like a top 3 pick out of this. But generally you're going to add your top 3 pick. You also have Jonesy and She Bledsoe something. So
Hey,
looks like you have Jonesy and this guy's got a purgatory team. So you're going to probably walk away with 1 early, 1 mid, 1 late first in next year's class. And you're going to be able to fill out your running back core a little bit more. Hopefully all these receivers are able to hit for you. Sadiq will be a lot better of a projection, I'd imagine, going into year 2 than he is in year 1. Isaiah Likely is a guy I'm not super high on personally, so I would be fine selling him right now.
With the knowledge you have, Sadiq, I completely agree. Like Likely is a guy that has been very steamed up from a best ball perspective. You do have Neighbors, so maybe in that early portion of the year, Likely starts producing, and you can sell people on the fact, obviously, leave out the context that, oh, maybe he's just only doing this because Neighbors is out. But without Neighbors on the field, maybe it's like, oh shit, Likely's getting 8 targets per game in the first 4 or 5 games of the year, and maybe he gets lucky, scores a couple touchdowns, and people are like, oh my God, he might be the next Darren Waller. Like people are going to say some stupid shit if he spikes up immediately.
Hell, I'd even be comfortable selling Isaiah Likely when the announcement comes through that Neighbors is going to start the season on the pup, because that's what I'm expecting to happen. Not even like in the season. You don't even have to risk Isaiah Likely losing routes to Theo Johnson or some bullshit that could happen in season. So for me, I'd actually just be comfortable selling him right away. As soon as Neighbors gets announced that he's going to miss the first 4 games of the season, people will get, visions of sugar plums dancing in their head and go, oh my God, Isaiah Likely is going to be like an elite player for the Giants. And I saw people talking about this in the chat about like teams that they're just straight up avoiding. And I'm with, I believe it was Arthur that brought up the Giants. I think the Giants are just maybe one of the worst bets at cost that you can go after. And I really like Scatterboo, Dart, and Neighbors long-term. I just don't like them this year because I'm not super enamored with the Matt Nagy hire. And I also like John Harbaugh kind of gives me Pete Carroll 2025 vibes a little bit, which I'm a little worried about.
I'm on the same page in terms of what I think about the offense. However, I have been drafting Likely just off the fact that I don't believe in the surrounding receiver town. Like I've taken stabs at Darnell Mooney, but apparently he hasn't lit up camp. Darius Slayton is Darius Slayton. Like he's going to stretch the field, but is he really a target? Like I have to worry about. Like I was thinking a lot of.
I just like the running backs.
Well, that's what I mean. So I was taking a lot of Isaiah Likely when he was like pick 140, 145. At that point, it was such an easy click, bring back for my Cowboy stacks. I got a lot of him. Like we were talking on stream and you're like, wait, how do you have 15% Isaiah Likely? And I'm like, well, you see the CLV here. Since I drafted him, he's gone up like 18 picks in value. He's like picked at 120 now, right next to like George Kittle and stuff. And I'm like, at that cost, absolutely fucking not. But once those guys are off the board,
probably got the same opinion, right? Is that Neighbors might start the season on the pup and he's going to start strong and stuff. I don't think. First off, I think this Giants offense might be the most run heavy in football, which is why Scatterboo is really the only one I like at cost.
So I'm grateful that I got all of my 15% when he was super cheap at cost, because I can tell you for free at the new freaking Isaiah Likely price, probably going to be drafting somewhere between 2 and 3.5%.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not super high on him either. So, yeah, I mean, I think Jaush has a very good structure for a house money team, and all of those picks banked up. He also has an additional 2028 first as well, which is from that Ray. Okay, it's probably contenders first, most likely. But generally speaking, this is a pretty well constructed team. And in your 2.0, we can give you some additional insight about how to shed production like Isaiah Likely, RJ Harvey, Chuba Hubbard, Jordan Mason. Like, there's leagues out there. You and I don't probably play in a ton of them, but there's leagues out there where people will buy a bunch of junk for first round capital. Like you can go, hey, I'll give you like Michael Penix, Chuba Hubbard, and Isaiah Likely if you give me a 1 and a 2. And people in our leagues would be like, why would I do that? I could take a 1 and a 2 and go buy Chase Brown if I wanted to. But sometimes people go, oh, that's like a quarterback piece, a running back piece, and a tight end option.
And this is why we always tell you guys when you're getting these 2.0s, this also applies to staph infection. If you're still listening to this, obviously we didn't mention
PaperChaser, who we'll get to in a second.
Yeah, this applies to everybody. text as much context as you possibly can fucking think of before we do the 2.0s, because that'll help a ton. If you say, hey, listen, people love to try to win despite like them being 8th on the analyzer. If that's how your league behaves, I'm going to know how to position some of those trades. If you say, hey, we've all been playing Dynasty for 6 years and we're competitive and there's been a new winner every year and everybody in this league is like half strong contender and half fucking strong rebuilder, it's like at that point, I'm going to know it's a more competitive league. I'm going to be suggesting trades based off that. So I try to make sure that all of the trades that I do are at least somewhat fair on the calc, even if it's like a you lose or a you win or you slightly win, like what's kind of realistic in the overall range of dynasty deals.
Yeah, you can get away with you wins and you're robbing them in leagues where people have no idea what they're doing with picks.
But if I know it's a more contending or a more competitive type of league and everybody maybe has a flock account and they're all typing in the trades, like I'm gonna position some of the deals, some of the opportunities differently depending on what type of context you can provide me. Like even just saying like, this is the last deal I made. Like for example, Dylan mentioned like before I did the review for him, he mentioned, he's like, yeah, I moved like Zay Flowers and a 2 for CeeDee Lamb. And I'm like, yeah, if that's the fucking market you do, like, obviously I'm going to suggest trades a little differently then.
Yeah, you're going to suggest bend over trades more
a little
so
bit
than the other kinds. But yeah, so we'll cover more in the 2.0 for you, Jaush. But generally, you're very well set up for what you're trying to accomplish here.
An extra 28 first as well, which is really nice.
Yeah, it's probably a late one based on the team that he has. But
still,
Jake somehow listed as a balanced team as number 1 in the analyzer. I think that might be a glitch. I don't know why the hell he would be balanced. I guess maybe because he's ranked 7th at quarterback. It's probably glitching it out because he's not top 6 at every position or something like that. But either way, I mean, I think it's probably closer to strong contender than it is to balanced. Brock Purdy, CJ Stroud, Daniel Jones, little weaker at quarterback for a contender than you'd want to be. Bijan, Chase Brown, etc. Lad McConkey, Zay Flowers, etc. there. And then Kenyon Sadiq, George Kittle. You can get by with those 2 tight ends early and late. Is this the same team that we already covered? I'm just looking right now. I don't think it is. We just did a review for him, and that's why I'm checking it.
Startup just finished today. I fucking love
this team. So this is a different team of his. He just happens to like his players, and I feel like he had a lot of the same types of players in the league. But
hey, he's got his guys. So do I.
Yeah, everyone's
said this is listed as a purgatory.
I sorted by quarterback rank by accident there. But what are your thoughts on the team generally?
I'm just saying he said he's confused because it's sorted by purgatory. You're not wrong. Like I'm curious what's going on with the labels because they have been a little off recently. I noticed
this is right after the startup. I'm pretty confident in my chances to contend. So hold on, is this Brock Purdy, CJ Stroud, Daniel Jones?
Different team, bro.
It's a different team. I guess he's just doing startups these days.
Yeah. Well, that's right. Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on the team?
That's what I'm saying. I was reading. You weren't listening. He said he's confused because it initially was listed as a purgatory. It's balanced now, but like, I am curious, like what's going on with the labels on the site sometimes.
I think it's probably because he's probably listed as balanced because he's 11th in picks and 7th in quarterback rank. If he was like 6th in quarterback rank and 8th in picks, he'd probably be a strong contender, I would imagine. But again, I guess this is showing, like if we look at the overall bars in this league, like it's pretty tight at the top.
Like, balanced,
he's at the top, but like he's not like significantly ahead of even like number 8, number 9.
There might not even be purgatory or pipsqueaks then if this is the case. Like,
I mean, if I go and look at all there's a couple all-ins, a lot of balance. Like it's
a really just competitive league overall. There's no real dominant team.
Yeah, and in his he didn't actually say any like extra messages, but basically he said he's confident in his chances to contend. Let me know if there's any moves I should be making. Again, he sold his first. He has Bijan and Chase Brown, 2 of my top 9 players, top 15 players in redraft. Yeah. McConkey, Flowers, BTJ, Wilson, Pittman. I'm sure he's going to be fine at receiver with those guys. Kittle, when he's back on the field. Sadiq is a upside option. Jolie and Raritan, all those types of dudes as well.
Sadiq might be your only liquidity, I would say. I like Sadiq a lot, but in season, if he gets a big value jump and he's like the tight end 5 or 6 on the market, that would be the only way I'd sell him. If he's still like tight end 8, 9 price tags, just hold the upside there. But if there is a spike up, say week 6, he has a 128-yard, 2-touchdown game and he automatically spikes right up, I think he would be your chance at liquidity to get some more producing assets.
Because he got him in both startups, my guess is that he went super undervalued in the startup, and that's why he ended up taking
That's what
him.
I'm thinking.
Like, he
That's why I
probably
think
would have
only
to
with a
wait,
huge
like you
gain.
said, until he actually starts to produce a little bit and gain some value. I have one clear move that stands out to me. Garrett Wilson, bye-bye. Because Garrett Wilson is not super highly valued for me from a contending standpoint. And somehow he has like this elite dynasty value that you can take advantage of. So knowing that you're 7th in the analyzer and contention value, which is, by the way, why you're labeled as a purgatory team. If you sort by contending, if you're outside the top 6, you're going to go from balance to purgatory. So that's why you have the purgatory label. But if you could take Garrett Wilson, who's a top 50 player in startups, and pivot him into a running back that's a top 50 player in startups, I would have said Chase Brown. He's already on your roster. But Kenneth Walker, James Cook, Jonathan Taylor, if they're within striking range using Garrett Wilson as the piece that you do that with, I would be totally comfortable doing that. Or even conversely, if somebody's willing to give you Breece Hall plus, Quinshon Judkins plus, Jadarian Price plus, Trevion Henderson plus, trying to think who else is in that range at running back, like Kyron Williams plus a significant piece. I would be willing to do something like that because you've already sold your first round pick. So you are kind of committed to the contention right out of the startup. But if you sold Garrett Wilson, whose contention value is not super special, and you essentially got, let's say, a second round asset in redraft value out of Garrett Wilson's asset value in Dynasty, I think that would be worthwhile.
Yeah, depending on who, obviously, like I would need a significant plus if I down tier to like Derrick Henry. But
or Josh Jacobs or somebody like that. I would need a significant.
Maybe you go
plus
Saquon plus or something like that. I think it would make sense.
Saquon plus would make sense. I think he should be within striking distance to get James Cook or Jonathan Taylor. Frankly,
yeah, I think that would make I think that would make a ton of sense as well. Maybe you have to throw
this
on
guy
the
has Achane and Jacobs on a strong rebuilder. Like, how much more on top of Garrett Wilson does it take to get Devon Achane on your team?
Achane, probably would need a young player in return. Unfortunately, don't really have. I mean, at the very minimum, probably the 28-2 plus something else.
Yeah, the 28-2 plus.
Like the guy might ask for your 28-1. It just feels a little steep. Unless you could do Garrett plus a 28-1 and also get back, like, go down.
Jacobs.
Travis Hunter.
I was gonna say Jacobs makes sense too.
Would he throw Travis Hunter on there?
Maybe given the state of his team and the fact that you have BTJ also, I probably wouldn't be as bullish on that.
I'm just thinking undervalued assets, really.
But
maybe instead of that, you're like, oh well, Godwin's gonna help me contend, so I'll.
And then maybe you swap Stroud and Mayfield too in this deal, so you get the better contending quarterback because Mayfield's probably going to produce more than Stroud points per game wise.
Probably, yeah. I don't mind that.
Yeah, but again, you're in a position very similar to the last team that we just broke down for you, where because you don't have your first, you are kind of pigeonholed to some degree and competing out of the startup, which is not always my favorite position to be in unless I'm going to have a significant advantage. So I would say generally you did a much better job in the first startup than you did in this one. Because Danny, if I told you he sold his 27 first and he's still not top 6 in contending value in the analyzer, I would say that's kind of mission failed to some degree. Like you should absolutely be top 6 in contending value if you sold your first during the startup.
I don't disagree at all. And also this is fucking hilarious. We start talking about soccer and the chat goes mute for 8 minutes.
That is funny. But yeah, I would say generally speaking, you are you got some things to do on this team. And Garrett Wilson, Brian Thomas, anybody that has a lot of long-term liquidity who you can pivot into production value. Like if you can sell Ladd McConkey and Garrett Wilson to Nico Collins and Jonathan Taylor, like because you've sold your first already, I think that would be a worthwhile move for you to make, because my sole goal, if I'm in your position, is to try and become a top 3 contender because I've already sold my first. Again, if you hadn't sold your first, I would say you'd want more flexibility and that kind of thing. But because you sold it already, I would say you're probably in that position at this point in time. And you could also because if it's a contending heavy league, maybe you could sell George Kittle, or maybe you could sell some of the guys like a Cortland Sutton who would have some value on the open market. But generally that's kind of what I'd be looking at. But it's not a super enviable position, this league, versus the first one that we talked about for you.
Yeah, I agree. Overall, I am curious too, if you have in the DMs what you dealt your 27-1 and 2-4. I would assume it's probably along the lines of like maybe a Garrett Wilson or maybe a Zay Flowers or
maybe during
like
the startup BTJ was on the board and he just sold his 1 and 2 straight for BTJ on the board or something like that. Again, I think
let us know.
It's possible it was something along those lines. But anyways, let's move on to Z. Mallow, and he said this team is a mess. That's the only insight he gave us here. Bryce Young worshiper is probably not a good start as far as what we're looking at. He doesn't have any other notes other than this team is a mess. So it's in purgatory. The bright side is that I will say after a couple of moves, I see a direction here.
Yeah, Corey, my team is a mess. I'm 7-7. I'm in purgatory. AKA, see ya fucking later, Lamar Jackson. See ya fucking later, CeeDee Lamb. See ya fucking later, Rashee Rice. See ya fucking later, Bucky Irving.
Probably Harold Fannin too, given that you have
Harold Fannin. Like, honestly, you want to keep
Andrews.
Concepcion, Hunter. You want to keep, like Katron, or maybe you're
I'm starting
really
Katron and DJ Giddens all year on this team.
Yeah, like fuck. Zach Charbonnet gets close to coming back, and you'll say, "Hey, anybody want to give me a 3 for him?" Like, use that to your advantage. Brian Robinson gets into a 1-week spot start type of role. Hey, listen, you're a contender. Give me your late 2. I'll give you my early 3, whatever it takes. Like stuff like that, right? Little moves. I would also be willing to keep Josh Downs.
The Michael Penix manager and offering him Tua Tagovailoa.
You want to secure the quarterback room?
Yeah, exactly. Bijan Robinson. Do you want Brian Robinson for a 3rd?
Hey, secure the backfield.
Price manager. Do you want Zach Charbonnet? And I'll throw in, Troy Franklin for a random 2 in 2028 or something like that. Like, I think there's a lot of fat to be shed from this one. This is you need to put this team on the Ozempic plan, get the peptides injected into it and shed the old fat from it, because CeeDee Lamb, if you can pivot him right now into Malik Neighbors, that's a perfect move for the team structure that you have. Rashee Rice, if you can pivot him right now into Carnell Tate or something along that line, that's the perfect move that you can make. Like, if you sort by contender and you are probably 7th, I'd imagine, worse, you're 11th in the analyzer. But when you sort by contender, it tells you you're a strong rebuilder. That tells you that you're actually close, right? Because you have 2 first-rounders built up of liquidity. Your only job now at this point is to get younger and to shed any productive assets into less productive assets. So like I said, CeeDee Lamb, go to the Malik Neighbors manager. Who has Malik Neighbors in this league? Is he going to be likely to trade Malik Neighbors away? Because you could probably sell him multiple assets. Like, this guy's competitive. He's Christian McCaffrey and Josh Jacobs. Like, this is shooting fish in a barrel. CeeDee Lamb to this guy from Malik Neighbors should be an auto accept for him.
Yeah, all day. I mean, you could even keep targeting that guy. Like, realistically, he has his firsts. You can make it a bigger deal. Say, hey, CeeDee Lamb, Malik Neighbors in the deal, and then if you throw me your 2,1s, I'll also give you Rice. Like, I always like taking a smaller deal and just trying to expand it to as much as possible from both lenses. If I'm trying to buy contending assets by getting more productive players, I'll love the deal I made with Jared. If you remember the Daniels deal in what was it, Flock Me Silly?
Yeah, I tack on some extra guys that they're going to want to sell anyways. And then from your perspective, as the seller, you tack on some extra guys that you want to get rid of anyways. Like, this guy is Brock Purdy, Jordan Love, Malik Willis. Could you talk him into being like, hey, if you throw in an extra 28-second, I'll give you Tua Tagovailoa. That gives you a 4th quarterback. It gives you some more depth in case you deal with some injuries or in case Malik Willis isn't very good or whatever the case is. Brock Purdy and Jordan Love have dealt with their own fair share of injuries as well. Like, yeah, I'd be offering this guy CeeDee Lamb, Rashee Rice, Tua Tagovailoa, and, Bucky Irving. And he, in return, he's going to give me his 27-1-2, his 28-1-2, Malik Neighbors, Jonathan Brooks, and Xavier Worthy or something like that. Like, and then I get a bunch of young assets. I get a bunch of picks. He gets a bunch of competitive assets. He's going to think, as all managers who are selling their capital think, he is selling you the 112 in the next 2 draft classes because, I have Christian McCaffrey and I have Josh Jacobs and he just gave me CeeDee Lamb and now I have Rashee Rice too. And you probably are getting a late pick at that point in time, but given that your team is in purgatory, you need to stack up as many pick liquidity assets as you can. And a guy like Malik Neighbors gets you 5 years younger at receiver as well.
Yeah, really simple direction to take with this team. You mentioned team's a mess. Your team's a mess if your goal is to win the championship with this team. Your team's a mess if you're trying to say, hey, listen, I'm going to take my purgatory team and this strong contender and that strong contender and that strong contender and that all-in team. They don't hold a candle to my squad. If that's how you're approaching this year, yeah, your team is a fucking mess. You're not going to beat those teams. But if you're saying, hey, I might be purgatory right now, but by the time I'm done making moves, it's going to be a strong rebuilder. I might be in purgatory right now, but by the time 2027 starts, I'll be in a house money. If that's how you're viewing it, your team's the opposite of a mess.
Oh, hello,
Let's
JMetal. Big
go.
news, lads. I'm engaged. I am excited. Maria and I's toast. We went out to dinner last night.
Yeah.
Was retiring the word fiance, so we never have to hear it again because it's a really irritating word at this point, having been engaged for 2 years and 1 month. But congrats to you, JMetal. Enjoy it. It's
Congrats.
get ready to absolutely fry every last bit of money that you have on fire because that's how planning a wedding goes. But that being said, I don't want to sound bitter because I'm very excited to celebrate my wedding with everyone that is coming to it. But
Yes,
just, if you're not in the position where, bride's parents or your parents or whoever are paying for the wedding, it is quite expensive to run one. So all that being said, big ups for JMetal. But yeah, I mean, it's straight up Z-Malo. It's very straightforward. This is a one quarterback league, I should say. So Lamar Jackson not going to have very much value, and Tua Tagovailoa, who I mentioned already, not going to have very much value. But definitely don't be afraid to still sell Lamar Jackson anyways. Like, I know he's not going to get the same value that he would get in a super flex, but you should be able to get a great young receiver for Lamar. Like, could you get Mekhi Lemon for Lamar Jackson in a one quarterback league? I think that's probably possible.
That's another point too. Yeah. I guess we didn't talk about like Lamar deals, but anything along the lines of some asset that, like you said, one quarterback, some asset, and like you have him at 35, anywhere between 30 and 50, I think would probably be a reasonable price.
Yeah, that's why I said like a guy like Mekhi Lemon plus or Jordan Tyson or something in that. You're probably not going to get to Carnell Tate, but maybe you can in that situation. All my money was gone at 20 because I decided to get married. Yeah, getting married at 20 is pretty crazy. Ain't even legal to drink yet. Oh, in Canada you are. Gambling is going to be carrying me a bit. Yeah, JMetal always fries the books, so I understand. It makes sense for him.
Yeah, saving my money.
There you go, Danny. Living with your mother at age 25. There you go.
Living with my mommy and saving my money.
There you go. That's the motto of the Ladster. It'll be really funny to me, Danny, if you and Sammy win the Flock League and you get like 50 grand American take home and you're like still living with your mother a year after that. That'll be really funny to me.
That on top of BBM, we joked about it. I'm not even convinced.
If you had one BBM on Spicy's account and you walked away with a cool 600 G's American and you were like still choosing to live with your mother, I would have been like, brother,
it's convenient.
Call the stereotype police because the Italian boy will not move out of his mother's house.
I'm living in the best life. Like, come on, what do you mean? I'm everywhere where I need to be, I'm at. You know what I mean?
You can, again, as I've often said, you can move out of your mother's house and still live close by.
But what's the point of that?
Independence, being an adult.
Wait, so I have to spend more money on a house to just do the same thing I'm doing now?
I mean, why even leave her womb altogether, right? Like, you could just live in there.
That was a good one.
You're gonna save. You don't have to get your own food then. Like, she feeds you everything she eats. Like,
I might not even have to pay rent at that point. That's a good point.
No, you wouldn't have to. Daddy's mom's just gonna be back's gonna be ruined because the fucking 14-year-old lad's still gonna be in there.
On the bright side, as you know, I don't actually take too much in terms of food.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
she might eat more than me.
Yeah, she might. Anyways, I support you, Danny. Danny hasn't been weed. Yeah, Danny's the kid from Grown Ups when he goes, how old is he? And he's 48 months. Danny still lives at home. How old is he? He's 2,000 months. That's 26.
Still fucking feeding. That was fucking crazy, that scene from Grown Ups. Kid still feeding on tit.
I mean, mom was hot. I get it. But
Grown Ups is a good movie.
Oh, it's fucking one of the best, man. Absolutely one of the best of all time. I still, whenever I shake somebody's hand and their hand's really soft, I say, "You still using palm olive?" Like, I still say that all the time to people. So there's some killer lines in that movie. I say, "What's up, ladies?" once a week.
Saskatchewan.
Yeah. Danny, how old are you? Danny's 26.
Yeah. I am 26.
There's going to be a Grown Ups 3 and Rob Schneider's in it. Yes, there is going to be a Grown Ups 3. I did hear that. It's kind of bad. I still haven't watched Happy Gilmore 2, even though Happy Gilmore is one of my favorite movies. I don't know why I never ended up watching it.
It wasn't that good, but it's
that's what I heard. So that's why I didn't watch it. But I probably should watch it just for the sake of watching it because I liked the first one, obviously. Oh, you're still a baby. That's a classic.
That's the first time I've gotten that, to be fair. I've gotten called Unk far more often.
Well, you've been called baby plenty in a different context.
In a different context. Yeah, that's a good point. In a different
Not
context.
Suitable for children, brackets Danny.
No, I think so it initially developed, but I think after so much head trauma over the years, I probably lost it.
Yeah, weed pen, head trauma, and video games has just completely melted it. But
Bro,
anyways,
Corey's like, wait, you watch a fucking YouTube video to sleep every night? What the fuck is wrong with you?
oh,
Is what
I'm
he
proud
says
to
to me every
report, by
time.
the way, that my screen time. Let me actually look at it really quick because I deleted Twitter off my phone. I deleted, which was the big one because I don't really use other social media, but I deleted Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok off my phone. I rarely ever use the other two. My daily average screen time is down this week to 1 hour and 17 minutes on average per day, which is electric. Where are you at in terms of a multiple there, Danny? 1 hour and 17 minutes of screen time this week.
A lot more.
Oh no, Dev's Danny's coming. That bit was so funny.
Hey,
yeah, that was great.
I'm down today.
On what? Oh, you're down on your screen time? Yeah, it's 2:34 p.m. So I would hope so.
I'm not even gonna tell you what it's down to.
My guy's got like 6 hours of screen time. No wonder it takes
less than 4.
2 hours to do a DD 2.0. He's fucking listening to 8 podcasts while he's doing it.
Less than 4 hours, but also on top of that, my fucking dumbass crossed group instead of layered on the Photoshop tab I mentioned to you. Like that's why it wasn't working.
See, all you had to do, Danny, to do the critical problem solving was go pause my podcast. Let's think for 1 second, and then you would have figured it out a lot faster. But you probably had like Skip Bayless on full blast while you were trying to figure it out, so you couldn't understand what was going on.
Dude, that's crazy, by the way. But
Bob got to touch grass, Fred.
No, I'm just an avid sports fan. Like I'll listen to anything fucking sports. DD 2.0.
Danny watches Serbian tennis for fun.
To be fair, there was a big upset in Wimbledon yesterday. I'm not sure if you saw. Ben Shelton fucking lost.
So I will say that I timed myself doing them, and mine take me about 25 to 30 minutes, and that's
mine's like 30 to 45.
Detail, looking through all the teams, trying to find trade targets. But
mine's like 30 to 45
faster on the Photoshop than you are because I made all the graphics throughout the season.
Well, that's what I mean. Mine's probably like 30 to 45 minutes usually. It's just like I literally told you, I'm like, I started working on them late today because Photoshop was not letting me edit the fucking boxes. I was tweaking. And then I looked at it. I'm like, oh, it's because it's on fucking group. So that's why when I click the fucking thing, it highlights fucking everything. So I switched to
It's okay to be married to the game also. It's okay to be married to the game. I was a sports DGen too. I would watch pretty much everything as well. Eventually, you just got to kind of pick your battles and be like, yeah, I probably shouldn't watch, number 23 USC versus number 25 UCLA at 11 p.m. on a Saturday night when I could be doing something else.
I might just have to accept that the only love I'll find is the love of the game.
Yeah. Danny's married to the dopamine grind.
Married to hitting that last leg of the parlay.
Yeah. Danny is married to needing to max win.
Fuck yeah.
Anyways, we could probably move on from Z Malo's team. We went on a massive tangent, but generally this stream has been relatively tangent free. So we're actually doing okay here. We're at the hour mark. We only have 2 team reviews left. Again, if anybody has a team review that they might want covered, I would suggest submitting it ASAP because when I get married in 2 days and when I go on my honeymoon, we're probably not going to have a Dynasty Decisions stream until July 14th or 15th. So if you submit a team review 3 days from now, it might not be covered for 10 days unless a bunch of them are submitted. And then maybe Danny will rip a solo. But I would say generally you guys probably want us both here. So just a quick reminder there. And another reminder, team review pinned in the chat, free Dynasty Decisions 2.0 when you sign up for an annual Motherflocker pinned in the chat, and then trade question pinned in the chat and also in the description of the live stream as well.
Yeah. Also, so in this week, keep in mind too, like I fall asleep to YouTube, right? So like my screen time on YouTube is going to be inflated because part of the time I'm not even watching it. It's just fucking playing because I'm sleeping.
Just so you know, that's true of me also.
Okay. Really?
I just watch like maximum 1 podcast a day.
But like you don't fall asleep to YouTube every night. I do. That's what I'm saying.
I complete the stress cycle in my brain by thinking before I go to bed.
Correct. But you turn your phone off and put it away and then proceed to go to sleep.
My phone isn't even in my bedroom anymore. I used to listen to something when I was falling asleep, but my phone isn't even in my bedroom anymore.
You're proving my point because my ADHD brain will literally fucking put a YouTube video that like is absorbable. Maybe it's like an NBA history or NHL history or whatever
I know.
the fuck.
I used to do this too. I used to watch Seinfeld before bed, or Friends, or How I Met Your Mother, or The Office, or something.
But like something that I can listen to that like I don't have to watch to still understand what's being talked about. Like that's what I will put on. And like that'll keep playing. So it says in the last week I have 21 hours of fucking YouTube because literally I fall asleep to YouTube and it goes on for hours.
Is it playing in your ear the whole time you're sleeping, Danny?
I don't have it as close as you think. I don't have it right beside my fucking ear. It's like it's like 2 feet away. It's like in the corner of the bed, and then I'm laying down on the other side.
Opinion on Danny's nighttime habit here. Can we please? Is this normal, Arthur?
It's not within lip distance.
I'm not going to pretend I'm better than you because I used to do the same shit with a TV on or sometimes like an earbud in or whatever. I just don't do it anymore because I realized it was causing me like ADHD brain.
Yeah, I mean, again, you're absolutely not wrong. It's probably, and not probably, that's an ironic word for it. It is a bad thing, but I need to listen to shit to fall asleep.
Pure silence is good for your brains, guys.
I can't handle pure silence. For your brains.
Read a book. That's a good way to occupy your mind with something that is analog.
The only type of shit I read is whatever articles I find.
Well, then get physical copies of the newspaper and read the articles then. I'm telling you, reading before bed is it accomplishes the same thing that you're trying to accomplish, which is I don't want my mind to race before bed and that kind of thing. But you actually do it in like a healthy way that doesn't affect your brain in a negative way. You just read something until you start to doze off and then you put the thing down and go to bed.
I understand it, but like, what respectfully, I know this sounds so ADHD. I understand that. So just bear with me. Let me make my point. You're going to say, why would you waste your time on other stuff that I'm hobby? Just keep in mind the sports that I want to watch, right?
Okay.
So mentally for me, it's like, why would I spend an hour reading this story that I don't really have any attachment to when I can learn more about a fucking sport or learn more about.
You can read about sports, Danny.
Yeah.
Read biographies of, Rocket Richard or whatever. Like, that's still sports.
I do that on my phone, though. I'll look at wiki pages on my phone.
Okay,
and stuff before bed.
Just get a physical book or a Kindle even would be an improvement.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I do. I have sports history books. I've read, the last book I read was Kramer's memoir, Michael Richards from Seinfeld. I read his memoir. Like that's the same as me watching Seinfeld. Like I learned about the show by reading it.
Some say touch grass, others say go to a bookstore.
Why would I spend an hour not having my phone screen on when I can use my phone?
Yeah, well, exactly. That's how I view it.
I will say I'm not that big of a reading advocate until this year, but I've started doing it. I think that's why I'm the perfect person to talk about this, is because I did exactly what Danny is talking about all the time. And now I don't do it, and I sleep much better, and I feel like I'm a lot more alert, and I have better memory the next day, and I can focus better, and so on and so forth. Yeah. Don't worry, I timestamped that section of Dynasty Decisions, Danny's ADHD brain and how to fix it.
Concerned about the general level of literacy and vocab in the younger gen. Probably thinks drugs are bad too.
Facts. Drugs are bad, but they can be fun. Ebooks through the library give you a huge variety. Yeah, I'm not a screen book person. Like I like physical books, but my best man at my wedding is a huge Kindle guy. Like just a Kindle degen.
Yeah. Ambiguity. Appreciate it. This is actually very well said.
Yeah,
breakers, and
they are also quite good. But next up, PaperChaser. We'll have to save that for the next podcast because we want to keep it here. Corey, you would like this. My grandparents were friends with Jerry Seinfeld's parents. They live in the same condo development in Florida. They're from Del Boca Vista. That's crazy.
I read that as Jerry Sandusky for a second after that.
Jerry Sandusky's parents are probably less flex to be friends with.
That's a good point. I want to read more books, but I love sports too. That's where I'm at, bro. It's like every time I think, I should really read this book, I'm like, or I can watch this hour-long documentary on the fucking 1983 NBA championship.
I still like doing that, Danny. What I'm suggesting is not doing it immediately before bed.
No,
like you can do it
absolutely
an hour before bed, go upstairs, read for 20 minutes, and then fall asleep. But you can spend all evening doing the thing that you're talking about before.
You're not wrong at all.
Next, y'all are going to be saying we shouldn't be shooting heroin. That's crazy.
Next year, yeah, no,
Dude,
literally.
no. Probiotics and prebiotics, I didn't know there was a difference, and you do need both. Most people probably eat a lot of prebiotics naturally because onions and garlic and stuff that's like readily available in a lot of the cooking that I do, at least, is a lot of prebiotic fiber. But probiotics are harder to find because not many people are incorporating kimchi and sauerkraut and that kind of stuff into
probiotics
their
just
diet.
yogurt?
Yeah, yogurt is part of it, but like commercial like Oikos yogurt doesn't have a ton of probiotics in it, if any.
Greek yogurt's good though.
No, I like Greek yogurt in the grocery store, unless it's like in the natural food section, probably doesn't have active probiotics in it, most likely.
Don't bench T. Higgins. Ryan Flournoy's not worth it.
Fact.
I hate reading. It's the devil. How much sleep do you get? I usually get between 6 and 7 hours a night.
Oh God, we got 3 team reviews in the span of time that we were talking about the health and wellness check with Team FSE here.
I'm usually up by sometime between like 7:30 to 8:30, and I usually go to sleep sometime between 1 and 1:30. So yeah, 6 to 7 hours usually.
6, 7. We aren't attacking you. We're here to help you. Hey, Danny, come sit down right here. Yeah, we're having an intervention for Danny's YouTube habit before bed. The only reason I know that it's a problem is because I've seen Danny fall asleep in Austin with his phone like literally on the bridge of his nose like this. I'm like, brother, that can't be healthy. Like when I was doing it, I had one AirPod in and my phone was on the nightstand. You were like literally like this.
I'm scared of having AirPods in when I go to sleep now because I always lose them overnight.
Not because that's unhealthy. I'm just scared I'm gonna lose my AirPods because I will die without them.
No, to be fair, if I'm sleeping in a room with someone, it's like AIDS because usually in my own room, I just play whatever's on, like I want to listen to on my phone. And when someone else is in the room, obviously I can't do that. So I'll put the AirPods and then I'll wake up in the morning. It's like, where the fuck did this AirPod go? It fell through the crack of the bed. Fuck off. And I'll have to dig for it.
Hey, you can always find a book the next day, Danny. You can always find a book the next day. It's big enough. It won't fall through the crack of the bed. Anyways, let's get back on topic here. Code FSE for a free health review. Yes, no doctor, nothing but YouTube research on my front, and that is what I can offer you. Raging Rednecks here. I was maybe a contender in our first year of Dynasty. I took some injuries and some slow play, traded some of my starting lineup, and then a lot of my roster. Gained a lot out of draft capital. I have since sold those picks, and hopefully I'm heading in the right direction. So sounds like out of the startup, he was like, okay, I'm going to contend. And then it didn't really go so well. We've all kind of been there. I imagine everyone of us has drafted a team out of the startup, not won the championship, and then had to retool it 2 to 3 years down the road. Yeah, I mean, you don't have your first round pick, which obviously sucks, but I do think that there's some upside for this team. I would personally be of the opinion that you should do whatever you can to go get your first round pick with a team like this.
Yeah. And I mean, the avenue to doing that, obviously, in an ideal world, you'd want to build around May, Bijan, and Hampton. So if you can, I mean, I would sell like Harrison and my second for my first. Like I would do something easily like that. It really just depends. Like who has your first, and what do you think they'd be willing to charge? If it's a strong rebuilder, you might have to give more. If it's a strong contender or a balanced team, then maybe maybe you can get away with a little less. So
it looks like it is a contending, strong rebuilder team.
He doesn't have his one either next year, so you could always leverage that part to him.
The other thing that sucks about this is he's second in the analyzer right now, but they haven't had the rookie draft yet, and he has none of his picks. So after these guys spend their picks, I'm sure he's going to drop from second in the analyzer to like 5th or 6th maybe in the analyzer. So if I were in this guy's position, I wouldn't be motivated to give you your first round pick back. But if somehow you can convince him, like, hey, I'll give you Garrett Wilson for my first back, like you can compete with Garrett Wilson, then go ahead.
Picks are factored in from a value end, but in terms of the contention rankings, that's when they wouldn't be a factor.
Yeah, so the players, are not factored in.
So go to contender right now, because I'm curious. So like, let's just say hypothetically we're building that in. Like you're the number 8 contender, and you don't have any of your picks.
Yeah, it's not a good situation.
Teams are going to get better.
I mean, he kind of admits that his team wasn't in the greatest shape. I would
why rush it?
I can to get the first back first. Personally, I'm throwing out what I can do to get it back.
Well, if you drafted contending out of the startup, and then you sold in, why did you Unless you dealt your
He might have
27 and
sold both
28
years
first
of his first
beforehand.
last year in the startup.
That's a tricky spot. I'm actually, I don't mean it's not like, I guess it's because you have such elite assets with May, with Hampton, with Bijan, with Neighbors. And like, again, like when you take the totality of the value on the roster, it's up there. But there's just so many holes getting in your way from actually competing this year. Like you're a below average core in terms of contention at quarterback, receiver, and tight end.
Yeah. It's just not enough firepower to win, which is why I'm like, you know what? I've got young players. I would be willing to really take a Godfather offer for Bijan if it was on the table for me. I'd be willing to sell Garrett Wilson or Harrison or multiple people to go and get my own first round pick back first and foremost before I do anything else.
Hear me out. Go to Abaruman or whatever. So he's got Genty, he's got Warren, he's got good depth at running back, I would say. Like he needs another, obviously he's getting Jeremiah Love. He needs another needle mover, but I would say from a depth perspective, he's probably fine. Wide receiver, obviously he needs a lot, but maybe you throw him back a Michael Wilson type. I would be trying to get 101 in your own first back for Bijan Robinson, and maybe you throw Michael Wilson. Like whatever equals the value in that perspective.
I'd give him Harrison and Bijan for that easily.
I'd give Harrison as well.
I would give him Harrison. I would give him Bijan and Garrett for 101, his first back, and then maybe the 112 or like Worthy, a young piece or something like that. Like I think there's some opportunity to get the value out of this guy and maybe try and
try for his 28 one.
Yeah, try and convince him that he's Bijan away from competing. You go, hey, you get Bijan on this team. You don't have to wait for Jeremiah Love to develop. You don't have to wait for him to produce right away. I can take Jeremiah Love off your hands. I'll get my own first back. Like in a vacuum, Jeremiah Love and your first back for Bijan and Marvin Harrison is a great deal for him. Like in a vacuum. But if you make that pick an early first, then it becomes a good deal for you too.
Yeah, go back down to Rajan's receivers. Because I'm thinking, what about Bijan, Garrett Wilson? I mean, fuck, I would go Bijan, Garrett Wilson, and Marv if you can get 101 and your next two first back. Because does he have your 28 first? Maybe somebody else does.
All, we're tripping. It says Timmy 2K 2X is first. He doesn't even have the first. When I searched it, it showed. Okay, so the Dynasty
so
is
this guy then.
Forget all that bullshit that we just talked about.
Okay, let's talk about a different frame.
Yeah. The Dynasty is who has his first, and this guy is also probably of the opinion that he can't compete right away. However, I will say, with 103, with 105, and the shell that this guy has built up, maybe it's more likely that you can get something done because he has 3 1s next year, one of them being yours, and you can offer him Bijan and Garrett Wilson for the 3 first, the 103, and something else.
I was going to say, like, maybe Garrett Wilson plus Bijan for Igbuka and those 3 firsts.
I would rather go the route of just getting 105 in the 3 first. Like, I don't think
you can do that too.
Igbuka in that situation. So
yeah,
if you could try that 3 too. 105 for Bijan and Garrett Wilson, I think that would make sense. Because if this guy gets Bijan and Garrett Wilson on his team and still has the 103 to spend or whatever, he might be thinking, okay, well, I can take, Carnell Tate or Fernando Mendoza as my second quarterback or whatever the case is, or maybe he can use that pick to go sell for a quarterback. I would say that this guy's your best shot of offloading Bijan, and it's good that he also has your first, because then you can work something out to get your own first back. Maybe you don't even have to sell Wilson at all. Maybe it's just Bijan straight for the 3 1s. Would you do that in his situation?
Bijan straight for the 3 1s?
Yeah, like it looks like there's always. This guy's 8th in the analyzer. He's, got a decent production team, but no depth. Like you're getting an early to mid first and 2 late, mid to late projected first, which is maybe not quite what you'd want to give up for Bijan. Like you'd want a little bit
maybe
more
take the latest first and see if you can get the 105 instead. I would be willing to do that. So 105
your first and the mid first, maybe.
Yeah. I think that would be good. Overall, though, I think there is work to be done on that side. I was maybe a contender. Now you're trying to compete again. Do not try to compete again. Realistically, at this point, I would be trying to get my 27 and 28 ones. That would be the first prerogative. Again, if you're watching this review, I repeat, if you're watching this and you say right now to us in the DMs, no, I am not able to get my 27 and 28 one back. That will change your DD 2.0. Or is this a 2.0? Or
yeah, it is. It is.
It's a 2.0. Okay. If this is a 2.0, you have to let us know if your 27-1 and 28-1 are actually attainable to get back. If they aren't, I'm going to suggest that you probably contend because you'll have no choice because you can't get your next 2 first. So you have to make sure
the
that you can
28
get them
picks
to
aren't showing
110.
up here. So I'm assuming he has his 28 picks because nobody's 28 picks are showing up right now.
You.
So I'm assuming the league doesn't allow them to trade, or maybe whatever the case is, it's not loading them in. So I'm just going to assume for ease sake that he does have his 28 picks.
Okay, because he said I traded some of my
starting lineup and a lot of my roster. I gained a lot of draft capital. I have since sold those picks, and I'm hopefully heading in the right direction. So yeah, I mean, once you start to gain a lot of draft capital, like I'm assuming you collected some picks and then sold them for other things. Once you gain a bunch of draft capital, I'm just not likely to just sell them once I gain that capital. I'm likely to see the rebuild through, spend those picks on rookies, trade up, trade down, etc. in the rookie draft, and then go on my merry way from that point. I'm not just going to collect a bunch of picks and then trade them for other productive players.
Because that's the point, because now you're left in a scenario where you kind of got left with your hand in the cookie jar. I think you got good building blocks, but I don't think you have enough depth to contend. And again, I don't know the context. Maybe you do have your 28, 21, or 28, 1, 28, 2, 28, 3, 28, 4. That would make it a little bit more attainable. I would still look from a macro perspective to see if you can sell high on Bijan, get that big time asset, including your own pick back. And then at that point, you'd have 3 ones worth of players, whether that's a Jeremiah Smith plus, I'm just thinking like Jeremiah Smith plus Ahmad Hardy plus Cam Coleman. It ends up being like at that point, that's going to be more beneficial to you come 2028 than missing out on a legendary Bijan 2026 year.
Yeah, I mean, because of the legendary Bijan season incoming, make sure you get appropriate value for him, which is probably 4 first rounders of value overall in totality. Well, also, it sounds
3
like
if one's a mid to 3 if it's your own one.
By the way,
yeah, no, I was going to bring that up to you, but
that's allowed. England soccer, that's different.
Also, I mean, you saw that the Habs brought in Demidov on one of the best contracts you'll see in the league. So I will be appreciative of that.
I don't care what anyone says. Not
good. You do not know a Puck if you think he sucks. I don't know
Puck apparently, but he seems pretty overrated to me based on the series of hockey that I watched in the playoffs.
The 21-year-old playing with Oliver Kapanen, who had over 60 points in his rookie season, absolutely does not suck.
He doesn't
Oliver Kapanen is
overrated, I guess.
Absolutely not. And you're going to see it because he's going to have 110 points within the next 2 years.
We'll see. I do know books. Not really. I'm marrying someone who knows books, who passes on some knowledge to me. But yeah, like I will say, Wolvi, this is a tough position to be in because like realistically, like Danny said, we can't know what direction to go in until you tell us the status of your first round pick. Because if we can get your first round pick back, like the easiest and most simple way to get it is trade Garrett Wilson for it straight up. If he'll do that, then great news. But if he won't do that, then you might have to get creative, offload Hampton in the process, offload Bijan in the process, maybe offload a package of players in the process, Stroud, something like that, because that guy could also use a quarterback too. Maybe he'd be interested in CJ Stroud for the first round pick. There's definitely some maneuvering that needs to take place. And I would say generally the status of this team should be gearing more towards rebuild than contention, just as a general 80-90% of the time. What direction would we tell you to go with this team? That's probably the direction we would tell you based on what you have built up so far.
So overall, get your own pick back. Knowing the context now that he might have his 28 picks, again, please let us know every context that you can in the DMs. That's going to change. Like straight up, the DD 2.0 might include stuff that we didn't talk about on the stream because I'm probably going to have to workshop it based off of what you say in the DMs. Ultimately, without that context, it's going to be really tough. Do you have your 2028 picks? Do you not have your 2028 picks? If you don't have your 2028 picks, I think trading Bijan for a grandfather, including your 2027, becomes a necessity.
Did you say grandfather?
Or a godfather, sorry.
Becomes Bijan for someone's grandfather.
But if you have your 28 picks and maybe you can get your own one back for a cheaper cost and you want to keep Bijan, like it'd be more reasonable in that instance. So if you don't have your picks in both of the next 2 years, you have to trade them, in my opinion. If you only just don't have your 27-1, I'd look to try to get it maybe even cheaper if you had to. If not, again, I would still totally be willing to do it for my own 1 plus 2 extra ones like we talked about on that guy's team. But yeah, on top of that, a couple of decisions we'll have for you. Maybe, list some of your cornerstone players. Like I wouldn't move off of Drake May no matter what. I wouldn't move off of Malik Neighbors. I wouldn't move off of guys like that. But yeah.
I'll trade Bijan and Gibbs for your no. That's hilarious. Kawhi, baby. Yes, sir. Yeah, Kawhi indeed. Also, Dylan, real sports don't end in ties in the most important tournament of that sport. And also, real sports don't have a bunch of pussies diving around. Let's keep it going here.
So the biggest misconception by far is people who say that soccer isn't a physical sport, by the way.
I never said it wasn't physical. I said they're all pussies.
Oh, they flop. 100%.
Yeah.
But like,
it's physically demanding. It's a hard sport to play. There's still pussies for playing it.
Dude, those fuckers are physical too. Like,
I know.
When you talk about like people trying to make runs, people trying to have aerials in the box, like people are fucking scratching and clawing.
Oh, I know.
And if you're Luis Suarez, you're biting Chiellini's neck in the 2014 World Cup.
Yeah, and probably sucking him off after the game. Diamond Hands, they should do a heated rivalry about soccer. That'd be more realistic.
Also, Dylan, probably not going to do team reviews today. We're both exhausted, and this guy has a wedding literally on Friday. So
yeah, facts.
Probably gonna chill.
Neymar is also the biggest vagina I've ever seen in my life.
To be fair, he's not wrong though. 2014 World Cup, the game before, so I think it was against Colombia because the next game was the 7-1 against Germany. He like basically broke his spine and got stretchered off, and then the next game is the 7-1.
Of course, yeah. Sports are physical. I get that. I just think they're all soft. Or I don't like the element of them diving and shit. I think it's stupid, and I also think it's stupid that basketball has adopted it.
Right. This guy broke his spine. Yeah, he's soft.
Play a real sport. What's up, fellas? Just completed another startup. Shout out. Third with Crazy Connor Bush. Yeah, Crazy Connor, for someone who's just randomly in a league with me, has been in like so many of the damn reviews that we've done, specifically for PaperChaser.
Literally.
As the draft went on, seemed like I was moving towards a soft rebuild, so I leaned in and made a couple tear down trades post draft to get younger and pick up some extra picks. Are there any moves that I should make? So out of a startup, I mean, you have two ones, you have an extra 28 first as well, and a shell of a bunch of young receivers, and some foundational quarterbacks and a young running back. Like, this is a pretty good shell out of a startup, I would say. Like, having two extra ones and a team like this is a good job.
Yeah, I think this is overall a very well-structured team. It is funny you mentioned the context of Crazy Connor. Did he say how recently the startup happened?
He said just completed another startup. I would assume in the last couple weeks, I'd imagine. Yeah,
so number 3 on the analyzer, of course, Crazy Connor works his way at 2. So fucking guy, of course. Connor,
I mean, he's got a good team in that he took over an orphan in Can't Wait, and it was like one of the better teams in the league. Like, the guy who orphaned it just like orphaned like a top 3 to 5 team in the league. Yeah, maybe Crazy Connor might just be a sharp. Looks like Keenan is PaperChaser in the chat. He said this last week is I think you did a great job. You structured it well. Priority being the 1-year punt. This is the ultimate house money team. If you have a situation in season where maybe it's a young back, like on this type of team, would you see what the cost difference would be between a Christian Watson, a Quentin Johnson, or I mean, even for that matter, an Omar Cooper Jr. to see what Bashal Tutin would cost with this team? I mean, yeah, I think that makes more sense as far as a risk that you would take. You'd rather take that risk at running back, but also knowing the context that he is kind of 1-year punting, I also don't mind just selling instead of selling QJ and Watson for running back help, just selling them for picks instead. I don't disagree, more so just from a structural perspective. But yeah, if you wanted to say, hey, liquidate, maybe by the time this offseason or the season ends, you have 2 extra firsts on top of the 2 extra you've already qualified. Say 4 extra firsts in the next 2 years. Like, maybe you sold off Rashad White plus Jamison Williams, and you got a 1, a 2, and a young receiver back. Maybe you sold off Quentin Johnson plus Jordan Mason. Yeah, whatever it is. Like, you just accumulate parts and add them together and see if you can get first of value. Maybe you get 2 or 3 ones accumulated with the assets you have. I think that would be a W. Yeah, like finding a tight end needy team. Hey, Brenton Strange just re-signed with the Jags. Add in Christian Watson. That could really help your team if you give me your 27 or your 28-1. I would say generally when you have a team that looks like this, I'm totally fine shooting for 2028 picks instead of 2027 too, because a lot of people in most competitive dynasty leagues, I'd imagine most people understand that the 27 class is pretty good. So shooting for 2028 will probably get you some better deals. Like, Danny, this would never happen in leagues that you and I are in, but like, we've seen trades that people have sent us where someone traded their 28 first for like RJ Harvey because they're like, oh, it's a 28-1. Like, it's like 2 years from now. Like, I don't care. Yeah, wow. He was so productive last year as a rookie, and
going into year 2, he's going to be more productive. Like there are RJ Harvey bros out there.
Yeah, I'm just saying like an asset that we don't view as like remotely worth a first round pick. Like Josh Downs. They'd be like, oh, 28 first for Josh Downs. Yeah, I can't even use the 28 first right now. Like it's 2 years from now. Like what do I care about that?
Some people
it's going to be
don't think
112 anyway.
You're not wrong. Yeah, you're not
but
wrong
anyways,
for sure.
Yeah, as far as like what to do with this team, I think based on what you said here, I leaned in and I made a couple tier down trades post draft to get younger and pick up extra picks. Keep doing that. Right? Keep doing that.
Yeah.
If you can tear down from Tedderall McMillan into Makai Lemon and another first, do it. If you can tear down from Quentin Johnston into Ricky Pearsall and 2-2s or something, like do it. Like anytime you can get opportunities to collect more picks, tear down from players that are a little bit older if you can, definitely go ahead and do that. Did you hear the underdog report? What underdog report?
Yeah, what'd you hear?
Is there an underdog report that came out about something? 2026, a documentary for LeBron, final season with LeBron and Curry. Oh, a movie. Danny, I know you pissed the hell off.
I'm not pissed off. I kind of expected him to leave, but obviously, like when you know that you're getting a surplus value, like I get it. He's 42 years old going into the year. I mean, 1984, I think he was born. So yeah, 41, 42 years old going into the year. Like he's still a top 15-ish level player in the playoffs, top 25-ish level player in the regular season. The fact that he's going to be signing for like $15 to $20 million or possibly even the minimum, like just from a pure contending perspective, you're not going to get better bang for your buck with LeBron versus what you're going to have to pay LeBron. Like there's going to be role players that are going to be going for much more expensive than what LeBron will. And yet LeBron's probably still going to be, like I said, even if he regresses and he's only a top 35 level NBA player, if he's making fucking $8 million, that's such a good value.
Yeah, no, exactly. Also, Leafs Twitter is going insane over the 3-year deal that we signed Bob to. Now, apparently we're winning the cup.
He's washed.
Kind of why I hate the Leafs to some degree is that we were all in despair like 2 months ago. And then we get Gavin McKenna, Radish, potentially in the Werenski sweepstakes. It sounds like we're definitely very much in the Werenski sweepstakes, and then we signed Bobrovsky, and everyone's like, we're winning the cup. We'll see.
So I didn't want to give up the pick swaps. That fucking suck. Like giving up 2 extra ones and pick swaps just to sign fucking Kessler. That contract sucks. But also the rumor was he was potentially going to get like $40 million per year, and I think he ended up getting 32.5. So in the long grand scheme of things, like you got him 4 years for $30 million less than maybe you could have had to pay, but I don't think that offsets giving up 2 ones. I don't.
If LeBron wants to play for a contender, he should just come to Toronto. We'll have just the best wings in the history of the NBA.
Yeah. By the way, Corey, for those that you saw that were hyping up Bob, he was one of the worst goalies in the league last year, but you're hoping that he bounces back to 2 years ago. I mean, this past year he had an .870 save percentage.
Yeah, Bobrovsky was literally unbelievably nails against the Leafs in the playoffs 2 years ago. Like the best goaltending performance I've ever seen from a playoff run, period, across the entire playoff run, that playoff, the last 2 Panthers Cups or whatever. But for me, it's like, Stolarz and Bobrovsky have been teammates before. You feel like you've addressed your goalie position adequately, and you add a playmaker to the first line and Gavin McKenna. You add a top 3 defenseman on Radish, and maybe you add another player in Werenski. Like definitely an upgrade from what the Leafs were last year. I'm not going to get too over my skis and say that they're like a top 5 team in hockey, but I think they're definitely a playoff team at the very least, and we'll see how everything gels together.
When I don't even mean this as rage bait, because obviously, like from when I say division, it sounds like rage bait. But me saying they're going to be a top 5 team in the Atlantic is genuinely a compliment, because that division has 5 of the 8 to 10 best teams in hockey.
Yeah, and I think if things go well, like they can be better than Montreal, Buffalo, and Ottawa if things go well. But we'll see what happens.
I mean, like I would still put them after those guys, but I think because Tampa's older, I think they could fall off a little bit. Like unless they get Werenski, if like Tampa gets Werenski, maybe.
I mean, they're apparently very in on him as well. So
that's the thing. If they get Werenski, I would probably take this back. But I do think if they don't get Werenski, there's a possibility they have an aging core. Vasi has shown some up and down in the regular season. Last year, he was really good, obviously, but like in the past, he's had down regular seasons. Like I can see them end up being a 98 to 100 point team as opposed to a 108 point team next year, like Tampa.
Yeah, Mac's going to make them pretty damn good, I'd imagine, at some point.
I don't like how they spent their money, though. They signed, so I like Marchment, the player, but 5 years for his age at $7 million per. Like if it was
before we went live, weren't you just talking about the fucking Habs signing him?
No. So it's the term that I disagree with, because I think 2 to 3 years at $7 million is one thing, but there's a possibility Marchment can really age into that contract. So I never like giving a 33, 34, or I mean, he's actually like 32, I think, but he's like in the prime of that contract. He's gonna be 33, 34. And then at that point, it's like $7 million is a little bit of a risk. But sorry, and that's why I meant in the prime of it. You're right.
Yeah, he also just turned 31 like 2 weeks ago too.
Yeah, but like in 2 years from now, I would have wanted him to be in like the final or the second to last year of the deal. Like there is extra term on there that I didn't like. But the one that I really hate was like, I think Jacob Trouba's like a $3.5-4 million defenseman at this point. I think he's like a Ben Sherratt type of right-handed D guy that's like fine as a number 4, but they're paying him almost Lane Hudson numbers in the next 4 years. They're paying him 8.25 per year. Lane Hudson, for reference, his AAV is at 8.8.
Yeah, it's not great. All right, back on track.
Yeah,
hockey talk aside.
I could talk hockey all day.
Yeah, we can talk about a lot of things all day. We could just yap.
Oh yeah,
for a living, which we do.
Correct.
PaperChaser, anything else on his team? Because obviously he's done a very good job of structuring this so that it's a shed the fat, take advantage of your selling windows when possible, and then just continue on your merry way collecting picks. Because it sounds like you didn't have this framework built out from the startup and you built it out after the startup. So I'm assuming like you sold, some, Puka Nakua type for like Tedero, McMillan, and 2 1s or something like that. Like you made some types of moves along those lines, and that's how you were able to collect that stuff. So I generally think you're doing a great job and just continue to do what you're doing. So Jmetal, can we review my Devi team, lads? So obviously you and I are in this league. Got more talks of potentially moving Bo Nix, but I'm not sure about down tiering to Darnold, Boston, and non-Devi first assets. I've obviously struggled mightily in this league with bad trades and bad picks in Devi. You can see your boy up top here is the juggernaut in this league.
My prospect pool is fucking ridiculous. So it says strong rebuilder, and it doesn't even take into account my Devi pool has like Jeremiah Smith, Cam Coleman. Like I have a bunch of fucking crazy ass Devi assets on this.
Yeah, I don't really have a bunch of Devi assets, so I guess I'm a little overinflated in that regard. But looking at Jmetal's team specifically, so he's caught in purgatory. He's looking to sell Bo Nix. I mean, if you were willing to sell, like I'm trying to think, I don't really have anything to offer you because I actually really like Bo Nix. I'd be willing to give you Jackson Dart for Bo Nix, but I'd probably actually want Bo Nix plus for Jackson Dart. But if for some reason you want to get
plus Franklin, send it in.
Nah. No, Nick plus Marv, I would do.
I mean, probably. I would think so.
That's what I would do. If you want to do it, that's on the table for you. But I'd imagine selling Bo Nix is not going to be easy in this league because I think in Devi leagues, people overestimate quarterback depth because they might have a couple of quarterbacks in the Devi.
I could just hit on the next fucking Jordan Love.
I can just hit on Jackson Dart, who I drafted in the 6th round of this startup, for example, and Shedeur Sanders, who I drafted in round 5 of this startup.
Yeah, you did a good job.
So
also,
people are going to have like Devi quarterbacks that they're like, oh, well, like when John Mateer gets to the NFL, it'll be like a usable quarterback for me or whatever.
This is complete and utter fucking bullshit, THC.
Oh,
and you have every right to be as pissed as you fucking can. Your league decided to reset the fucking league when you're the Thanos. You don't speak to any of those guys.
That happened.
You don't speak to any of those fucking losers ever again. Like look at me in the eyes right now. Every single one of those fucking losers are off your contacts. You're never contacting them again. You're never texting them and you're never calling them. They could be your best friend before that. Fuck them. Fuck them.
Fuck them.
You know that I'm getting angry on your behalf because they're a bunch of fucking pussies.
Yeah,
they're
a bunch of soccer players is what they are.
Oh, sorry.
They might as well go play for Team England in the World Cup.
Dude, the fact that I can get triggered on somebody else's fucking inconvenience is hilarious.
Danny would wreck his entire house if this happened to him.
Oh my God, I would be livid.
Danny would take Danny would have a Louisville Slugger taking out lamps in his house before the league got nuked for good. Like just the mention of it in the group chat would cook.
That's messed up. I mean, they messed up. That's what I would respond to them. They try to say I'm messed up. I'll say, hey, you messed up. You don't know what you fucked with.
England soccer like that. What are they going to do? Like throw tea at me? Like screw that. Anyways, JMetal's team. Let's give him some actual advice here before we get too on a tangent here. Selling Bo Nix. Let's go look around this league and see who's potentially in the market for a quarterback. I mean, Texas Jeff,
he's a wild card.
Probably looking towards, like he was 10-4 last year. Yeah. Did he win the championship?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So he won the championship with this kind of so-so mid-looking team. If you could convince this guy here to potentially be in the market for Bo Nix, like, again, we're not going to get too in the weeds with like Devy trades and who he has in his Devy pool and all that kind of stuff. But
I can on the review. If you want anything specific, leave it in the DMs. If you want, like, because AJ, for example, when he submitted his Devy team once, he's like,
it's a real regular DD. It's not a
oh, okay. Sorry. I thought it was a
2.0. I'll just quickly here. I'm just going to quickly pull it up and look, and we're not going to spend too much time on it just because I don't want to get too in the weeds with this. But I'll just quickly look at the Devy pools of some of the quarterback needy teams, just so I have that context.
Bush isn't that much of a loser where he would leave the fucking league or close a league or look to reset a fucking league because I have a Thanos. In fact,
I'm in a league with Danny where he literally didn't lose a game last year. So
like, but Bush has some monster teams, but when he needs to take his beatings, he'll take his beatings. Like that's how we are.
One of my best teams, actually.
Yeah.
This league. This is one of my best teams. But yeah, I got to take my beating in FSE listener league. So Texas Jeff doesn't have a whole lot of interesting Devies in my opinion. Like he has like Nick Harbor and Brandon Innes and like CJ Wiley and like Sam Levitt. Like his Devy pool sucks.
Go to Eshane. What does Eshane have?
In his Devy pool or his quarterbacks?
Quarterbacks.
Like he doesn't need a quarterback. Okay, so he's asking about selling Bo Nix.
Like other than Jeff, who's also like worst at quarterback?
I mean, EJM is 9th at quarterback, and this guy could use a quarterback. He's got a young team. Maybe he'd be interested. If I look at his Devy pool,
he's got a lot of options.
I mean, he has,
but his team's caca, so he's probably not going to want to.
He has Bryce Underwood, but other than Bryce Underwood, there's no quarterbacks that I've really heard of that are significant. But he has a huge Devy pool of like Cam Coleman and like.
But that's the thing, like his team's not ready.
And Nick Marsh and those Nate Frazier, those type of guys.
I think it'd be very tough to get Devy assets off of him because he knows he's not competing. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I mean, in JMetal's situation, would you be comfortable moving off of Bo Nix for Quinshon Judkins plus maybe, or Jadarian Price plus? If he could get...
I mean, yeah, but like again, I don't think EJM's all that pressed to make a consolidating move given his context. Like,
like he's not going to give you like Quinshon Judkins and Nate Frazier or something.
Who's 10 or 12 at quarterback? I'm curious in this league.
JMetal is 10. I don't know how to play. Devy is 12. I mean, this guy's in a competitive window. This is probably your best shot. Probably your best shot, I would say.
Let me see. So I don't know how to play Devy. I think that's Yusuf. Yusuf's Devy pool. He has like
I'm looking at it.
Julian Sayin, maybe if you're high on him. I think that could make sense.
Is that who he has?
Like you can get Sayin plus for Knicks. Like I think that would probably be the way you do it. Like, and obviously you need like a significant
plus. He has Dante Moore as well.
Oh, do you use Dante Moore? I didn't even know that.
Dante Moore, Julian Sayin, and then other than that, his Devy pool is pretty weak. So, I mean, he might be of the opinion that he doesn't need to trade for a quarterback because he has Stafford right now and Rodgers right now, and then he has two of the best young quarterbacks in college football on his Devy pool. But if he's in...
This is Kaka PP.
Yeah, that's Kaka PP indeed. Fletsky's going to come better than that. Kaka PP diaper gravy, yeah. So, Yusuf is probably your best option. JMetal, what I would do is probably take Bo Nix and ask for Dante Moore or Julian Sayin plus for him because
I agree. Like especially Dante Moore.
Yeah, like respect to those guys. They're not the asset that Bo Nix is. First round quarterback, already had 2 top 12 redraft seasons in points per game. Like this guy's a competitive team. He could use Bo Nix on his team.
Yusuf, I know, is very easy to deal with too. Like he's very like willing to hear you out. You explain the offer. Like he's not someone that's like, oh, you'll throw this offer and then he'll be fucking holding off for every fucking inch of value. Like if he sees something that he likes and you guys can get something done that's at least reasonable, he's usually very easy to work with, at least from my experience. And yeah, if you came at it like Dante Moore plus a small plus is probably what I would look for if it's Dante Moore. I would personally need a bigger plus if it's Julian Sand because I'm a little bit more concerned. Smaller in terms of stature, doesn't really have
2028 class versus next year's.
Because like I just frankly don't think he has the physical traits that even a Dante Moore does. So I think the NFL might say, oh, maybe they delegate him to like. I mean, then again, we saw Simpson go in the first round, so maybe the NFL is willing to overlook size a little bit more. But unless you're specifically Simpson to the Rams, I feel like these 6'1" slender quarterbacks typically fall to day 2.
Yeah, like maybe this guy will give you Dante Moore and his Devy first for Bo Nix or
That'd
something
be great.
like that. Or Dante Moore rocks one of his depleted rookie first, whatever one you think is going to be higher, and then maybe his Devy second, maybe something like that.
Also float the fact that, hey, you just came off a 9-5 record. I understand maybe you're high on Dante Moore or Julian Sand, whoever you're going after here.
If I was a competitive team and someone offered to cash me out for a competitive asset like that, who's a good player, who's going to be good for a long time, like I think that's a great move. Like in Devy Degeneracy, Danny, you know how many times I've been trying to sell Ahmad Hardy for a competitive running back? Like I've tried to do it 1,000,000 times in that league.
Maybe you frame it to him like, hey, listen, Kyler's still a little volatile. Stafford's got a bad back. Do you want to insure yourself? Because Bo Nix like projects very well in the like. It's going to be a very easy case to make. Bo Nix is not a hard player to market.
Yeah, and you could probably also throw in like a Jordan Addison because he's weak at wide receiver. Like if you gave him Bo Nix, Jordan Addison for Dante Moore as Devy first and a depleted rookie first, like that could maybe make some sense as far as your team repositioning. Because like you got a lot of work to do. His Devy pool, Jay Metals is nothing super special from what I'm seeing here. Like Micah Hudson's got some hype. TJ Moore has some hype. Then it's like James Peoples, Taylor Tatum, Hakeem Williams, Malachi Nelson, Trey Sanders. Like, it's not looking excellent there in your Devy pool. But I would say, Bo Nix is going to be a challenging sell for you. I also would say this too, though. Like, you don't have to sell Bo Nix on this team. Like, he's young enough that you could still hold him if you really wanted to. But if you're trying to shed production, the other thing that matters, I think, too, is in Devy, it's really important to get like a top 2 to 4 rookie pick because that's like the only players that slip through the cracks. Like, you're not going to get 7 Devy players slip through the cracks that become rookie first round picks next year. You know what I mean? Like this year, Omar Cooper might have slipped through the cracks. Ty Simpson might have slipped through the cracks. Jadarian Price would have slipped through the cracks. Fernando Mendoza might have slipped through the cracks. But like Jeremiah Love would have been rostered. Mekhi Lemon would have been rostered. Jordan Tyson would have been rostered. So you're not going to get like the whole rookie class next year falling to you. So if you have the rookie 102, 103, you'll probably actually get a pretty good Devy piece or a rookie piece next year. But you got to make sure that you have a really high pick for that to be the case, because you might end up getting more of a second round caliber asset if you're picking 106, 107.
Yeah, no, I think that's reasonable.
But we can move on to Jordan, who, by the way, submitted his Flock League submission as a great draft day impersonation. I don't know if you saw the thing that Jordan did, but I thought that was quite good.
What league is this?
This is Flock Me Sideways? Yeah, Flock Me Sideways. This is the tankathon between me, you, and YWL.
So because I was initially like 2 or 3 in the analyzer, but it's because I traded for 2029 capital and it doesn't show up on the site, so it just looks like I didn't get any value from that. Yeah,
you had to annoy me from setting up the 2029 league safe. As you can see, me, Danny, and YWL are in a tankathon, and Jordan is not in that position. Jordan is one of 9 or 10 teams that looks like they're trying to make a run for the championship here. So Jordan says, you boys are familiar with all the trades I've made in this league. This might be one of the leagues I've seen the most trades in, to be honest. I know quarterback could go one of 2 ways between, Purdy, Shuck, Aaron Rodgers, etc. Thinking I could tear down from Kenneth Walker mid-season if needed. I love the youth and upside with solid depth. Obviously, the rankings tell a different story. Curious how I can give Danny the 112. So you are
hopefully
in
that's
possession
not
of
the
his
case.
First round pick. I mean, Jordan, obviously, he's reached out to me regarding Patrick Mahomes because he wants, a quarterback upgrade.
Different league.
No,
Patrick. Yeah. I thought you meant the league he was trying to sell Mahomes. My apologies.
No,
sorry,
I have Mahomes in this league.
Sorry.
I am looking to sell Mahomes or Jordan Love for that matter, if you wanted to buy either of them. So Jordan, feel free to make me an offer. I can tell you for free that the only thing I'd be interested in is pick capital, which you possess none of, or young, stable, productive asset. Like I would be willing to sell Patrick Mahomes plus something for Drake London, or I'd be willing to sell Jordan Love for, I mean, the tough thing is like Jordan Love's kind of in no man's land for your roster as far as what would actually make sense for my team. And I'm also trying to shed production to the point that like I don't even know if I'd
go back. So go back up to your team. What about Jordan Love plus Brian Thomas Jr. and whatever equals it for Drake London?
Yeah, I mean, I could do something like that.
I
guess I'd also be like, I'd be open to selling Jordan Love for like your 29, 1 and 2, and then like a small young piece that I like a Josh Downs or something like that. I'd be fine with something like that as well for what it's worth.
Are you sure you want to trade for 29 capital, knowing that you're probably going to fall to 10th in the analyzer if you do? I'm joking.
I'm totally fine with that. Getting Jordan Love in my starting lineup would actually do wonders for me actually getting Jeremiah Smith, because I might not have Mahomes for a couple of games too. I'm
trolling like a motherfucker.
I'm going to be starting Carson Beck in week 1. I'm out on Jordan Love. Okay, yeah. So, I mean, you can feel free to continue to make offers for Patrick Mahomes for me, but I can tell you for free it's going to cost you probably Drake London and or capital.
You're out on Jordan Love despite having Christian Watson already, though.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting. He says skull.
I know what he means, though. It's not a discernible upgrade over Shuck. So he's like, I would probably rather just pay up for Mahomes is probably what his rationale is.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get to Mahomes unless you give me Purdy in the process. Like,
oh, yeah, I guess you're not doing it for Shuck Plus.
No, I don't want Shuck. So if you offered me Purdy Plus, I would probably do that for Mahomes because I would rather have Purdy in my situation. He's a younger quarterback.
If he offered you Purdy plus Laporta and you gave him Mahomes plus a piece, what would that look like? You don't have a like.
Can I give him likely?
Mahomes plus likely for Purdy plus Laporta? I think that's probably a better.
I'd probably do that, but that also like gives me more production as well. Like the problem is that Jordan doesn't have any picks left, and that's like really all I'd be interested in for the most part. Like I would do Purdy plus the 29 first for Isaiah Likely and Mahomes if he wanted to do that. It's just the question is, do you think Mahomes is worth that much more than Purdy from a production angle, which some people might not think he is. So,
well, he doesn't have his 29 picks. Remember,
he said he'd consider 29 picks, so he must have them.
Oh, someone else I did the 29 picks with. My bad.
Yeah, I mean, to find a quarterback upgrade is going to be challenging because unless it's coming from me, YWL, or Danny, like you could go after Cam Ward. You don't have any quarterback.
Wait, I was going to say, you think he's getting a quarterback from me?
No, but I mean, he could go after Cam Ward potentially, or like, is there any contenders that have a plethora of QBs? Like JT Kang might be interested in dealing Baker Mayfield because he has Geno as a third quarterback. Like maybe you could give him Aaron Rodgers plus, a piece like Christian Watson. So, you said you're a Vikings fan. What if Aaron Rodgers plus Christian Watson gets you to Baker Mayfield and that gets you a better second quarterback or third quarterback, depending on how you look at it?
What are your thoughts on Dylan? So Jordan would get the Dak Lamb stack. JT Kang would get JSN plus Shuck. If you want production, maybe you get something else.
Dak Lamb already.
No, I know. I'm saying
you're getting the Dak Lamb stack.
Yeah, so you get the Dak Lamb stack. Maybe you give him Shuck plus JSN and whatever equals out the value. Like maybe it's a Mike Evans type, or maybe it's something like that. Like whatever you like. You're going to plug it into the calculator, play with it.
I think that makes sense. Yeah, that could get you an upgrade at quarterback production-wise and also still keep you competitive at the wide receiver position. Losing JSN to Lamb, I mean, production-wise, I don't have a massive, massive difference in my projections between those two guys. So, I think that would make some sense as well. But yeah, just going around to the teams that are competitive in this league that have extra quarterback or a quarterback upgrade that you feel like is worth it. But if you're fine rolling with Shuck, like you could definitely do that. Like there's no law saying that Shuck is going to be bad. I just think he might be a little bit worse than some people think.
Scribbles, I'm an extremely nice guy because I own his 27 and 28 ones, I believe. So
there you go. I mean, you giving him Dak and Lamb based on your opinion of Dak and Lamb is probably actually anti in your.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm suggesting him make very good moves in spite of me wanting him to fucking have his downfall. No offense, Jordan. I want you to be the 104 or the 105. I want as early of a pick as I can, but I'm giving you free game because ultimately that's what we're doing here. If you are nicer than me,
game. He paid $76.
Correct, not free game. Let me say contradictory game to what I want you to do in the league.
Yeah,
I don't want you to do anything that I say right now.
I'd say JSN for Naylor. Yeah, that's facts.
Trade JSN. You could do that too. If you want Jalen Naylor, obviously the upside of the Raiders offense, number 3 target there. He's going to be really fun.
I wouldn't say no to you making Jace Plant's team worse because I have his first. So
make it better, please. Make Jace Plant better.
No, I would really appreciate if you gave him Tyler Shuck plus Drake London for Tedero and McMillan and Joe Burrow or something like that.
I
like,
don't
I would
know.
very much appreciate
Just give him like JSN in London, and maybe you get like McMillan and a second. Like that'd be pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, do you think
around.
Jace Plant would be at all opposed to selling Joe Burrow if he got offered Shuck his 29 first and a competitive receiver or something like that? Do you think he'd be in the market at all? Jason's a bit nervous in trade in general. Yeah, I know. Because I've been trying to get Jace's 28 first, knowing that I have his 27 first.
I'll need to take a look after the stream against Snyder. I'm trying to remember. I watched a bunch though, and there were a lot of really good submissions, so I'm excited to watch again. I'm trying to remember.
I probably won't be on the next episode of the auditions because I'm most likely going to be on my honeymoon. So, but yeah, I've been watching a lot of them, and I can maybe even just text you a message like, hey, make sure you vouch for this guy and say that I was like ranking them high or something like that.
I'll even show the text, the confirmation.
There you go. But yeah, I think Jordan, you're in a tough spot. I do kind of a little bit agree with the analyzer that like you're more of like a fringe contender as the number 6 team in terms of your all-in status, and then overall in value, you're number 10. I think there is some moves that you can definitely make there. Did y'all see the Rome National Treasure wrap? I did see that. As the person who gave Rome his lowest score, I would definitely, if I'm on the next episode, would definitely give him a higher score than that.
Yeah, I think I gave him an 8.5 on the first one, and that one I think was even better. So yeah,
I gave him a 4 just because I didn't watch Survivor, so I didn't really give him any bonus points for that. Yeah. And essentially all he did was say I was on Survivor in the first one, but his rap was much better. So I'd probably be closer to like an 8 or a 9 in that one.
That's fire, bro. And he called out the other submissions too. I'm like, holy shit,
the other submissions comedy. Was great. Yeah, that was the first time somebody's really done that. So I thought that was really smart.
I also love that he called out the other creators who gave Nick a fucking low score. He's like, Notorious is my dog. That's the day one. I won't talk fucking foul on him. If anyone else is gonna win but me, I hope it's him. Is basically like that was wild.
I didn't know he like followed Notorious's content or whatever.
Nick mentioned that to me. He's like, yeah, Rome used to always be in the live streams way back in like 2020. Like when we first started our channel, or like right before we started ours, like he was like an OG in Nick's stream.
That's cool. Okay, Jordan's next team. You and I are not in this league, so it should be a lot easier to talk through. Feels like he's in a great spot here to win. 27 first could be the 101, and will use it as leverage if needed. League voted to cut bench spots, so I had to drop decent depth pieces. I'm actually in the can't wait league is kind of like that for me. I had to drop like Trey Benson and like Jalen Milrow and guys that I would have preferred to stash if I could. So what are your thoughts on this team, Danny? Would you be looking to he said this big Hal guy or whatever, he's a pipsqueak. It's probably going to be the first pick. Would you be in the market of trying to sell that pick now while it looks like it's going to be the first pick? Or would you be in the market of selling that pick when you need to, whether it's for a running back or a wide receiver or whatever the case is?
Due diligence. If you can get a top 20 level price tag for it, top 15 level price tag for it, yeah, maybe it sucks. You look at next year, oh, fuck, this ends up being Jeremiah Smith and he's the 105.
Yeah, but you take all the risk out that guy lucks into the 5th seed or something like that.
You take the risk out and you also inherit the production value that a top 20 drafted startup asset would give. However, if it's like, should I take Nico Collins or this pick? It's like, no. Should I take Rashee Rice or this? No. It's like, if I could take Justin Jeff, I would need more. I would need like Justin Jefferson, because again, like if this is I
have HN ranked ahead of Justin Jefferson in my dynasty rankings, but yeah,
I don't, but like I would need like at least a middle second, top 20ish level startup pick, because again, like that would be the only way I would be able to stomach.
Yeah, if someone's going to give me Justin Herbert for that pick or something, then I'd be fine doing that, because I think that at that point you mitigate all the risk that person makes a move to try and make their team better, or like. Remember
probably
in
receiver
last year when Skull Canada had like the worst team I've ever seen, finished with like a winning record of like 9-5 or whatever it was.
Yeah, that shit was fucking hectic.
He was like 7-1 at one point, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was like one of the wildest shits I've ever seen.
The guy was literally starting like Michael Wilson as his wide receiver 1 or something like that, and we're like, how the hell is this team like competing at like a convincing level right now? But then if it's 102, you stole that asset. Yeah, I think if you can get a Lamb London, I mean, he has Lamb on his team, but if you can get a London, to me, it would be worth it for an Achan, for a Jeremiah Love, for a Genty, for a
Golden Boys would sell me most of his rostered players for the first. Let's take a look at Golden Boys.
Golden Boys. I mean,
No, he's got. I mean, Drake May.
I mean,
sure.
Drake May. Yeah, I would go after Drake May with it.
Yeah.
But anybody else, I'm not interested in doing that.
Who's your quarterback? See Jordan's quarterbacks. Yeah, if he takes like, what else does he have on the team?
I would give him
nothing.
Kyler Murray in that first for Drake May any day of the week.
Obviously, I'm saying like if you gave Jaden Daniels, I wouldn't do that because I thought there would maybe be a piece you can get back, but there isn't. So like, yeah, it would have to be. You want this fucking first? It's Kyler Murray in the first for Drake May. You want this fucking first? It's Jalen, not Jalen.
That's it. That's the
Christian
only
Watson in the first.
Yeah, that's all you can really do. You can't do anything else.
Sorry, buddy.
Like, yeah, I would add to it for May as well. Yeah. But like, that's the only player I'd be interested in for the first because you're holding on to like essentially a golden ticket here. It's only going to go up in value if it ends up being 101. And also too, like you can wait and see mid-season if people really like if people don't believe that guy's team is going to be the worst in the league yet, and then mid-season they start to see that. Like if I sort by contending value, he is number 12 in the analyzer, and you know he has Bryce Young, Aaron Rodgers, and Shedeur Sanders as his quarterbacks. Like he has what 1, 2, 3, 4 assets going in the first 5 rounds of underdog drafts. Danny, like just Javonte Williams, Swift, Pickens, Wilson, and Burden are the only assets that he has going in the first like 5, 6 rounds of underdog drafts. And in Superflex, Bryce Young, Aaron Rodgers, Shedeur Sanders are like third quarterbacks, and that's his 1 and 2 and 3. So, yeah, I mean, if I were in your position, if I could get a hammer right now, I would go ahead and do it. Mitigate the risk that first ends up being later than you think. But if you can't, if people are not treating it that way, like they're treating it like, oh, it could be 104, 105, and all you're getting offered, like Danny said, is like Nico Collins or Rashee Rice or whatever, there's no reason that you should be doing that. Skull Canada was rolling out guys like Dowdle, Keenan Allen, and Tyler Lockett, and those were starters. Yeah. I'll send the Mayo offer out now. Yeah. If you can get Drake May on this team, that would obviously go a long way to boosting you in terms of the contending value and also just in terms of long-term production appeal of the team.
Were both of these 2.0s or one of them 2.0s?
They're both 2.0s. Yeah, they're both 2.0s.
Okay.
So obviously the one is a league that you and I are both in, and then this one is a league that we are not in. And it looks like we did get another submission by Furb a few minutes ago as well that we'll get into.
1, 2, I'm just tracking.
So the last 12 actually NFL projections are going to be coming. I'm going to record it tomorrow morning, and then I'll probably post it for Saturday. But I am in the middle of Tampa Bay's projections right now, and then I have to do Washington and Tennessee still. So I'm just about at the end of that video series of me going through my projections and talking about like what surprised me and that kind of thing.
7 2.0s, by the way.
There you go.
I just counted.
Now vote me into the Flock League. Unfortunately, I don't know if I'm going to actually have a vote if I'm not in the video, but Danny can ride for you.
Yeah. You know, I'll give you a vote.
But yeah, anything else on this team?
Nothing in particular. Again, like we said, if you can get an elite value for the 101, do it. Otherwise, I would hold.
And I like the rest of your assets. I mean,
aside from that,
Lamb, Waddle, Hunter, McLaurin, Watson, Adams, like they all fit your team perfectly to me.
Yeah, realistically, you're looking at that. You're going to keep Jaden Daniels, Amarian Hampton, CeeDee Lamb, Brock Bowers. Those are your cornerstones, I would say. Those are the guys I'm not moving off regardless, realistically.
He also doesn't have his 28 first or his 27 first, so he's kind of going to be a competitive team for the next couple of years. So whatever asset you get for the 27-101, it should be a player who's going to be elite for the next 2 years at least.
Yeah, so those 5 are going to be your cornerstones with those 4 players plus the 2027-101 projection. And I'll write that down. Of course, that would be decision 1. Decision 2, yeah, it's a cornerstone. I'm not married to moving it. But I'll mention there, if you get an overpay offer for the 101, that would be the only way I would deal it. So that would be another decision. And then the third decision we'll have here is realistically on the margins. Like, can you move Price for Chase Brown? Can you move?
Price for Chase Brown's a good call out because he's a competitive team for the next 2 years. I'd imagine Chase Brown's going to have a better projection over those 2 years.
Maybe you target the guy who has Dak. Said, hey, listen, I have Jake Ferguson for you. Like, who has Dak? Or you can go the other way and say you can go Kyler Murray plus for Dak because you have Lamb and Ferguson.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's probably not in the market for a tight end with Likely and Ingram, but maybe you could convince him to buy Ferguson. I'd imagine he's probably not in the market to sell Prescott. I think,
or you can go the inverse is what I'm saying, because like he has Kyler Murray. How much on top of Kyler you think you could pay for Dak?
Yeah, I guess Jefferson stack. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it could be worth going for. But overall,
Naylor question mark is the name of his team. Maybe he's a Vikings
fan. Naylor, I hardly know her. Is probably what the name is.
But he might be a Vikings fan if he has Jefferson and he's got a Jalen Naylor reference as his team name.
Could be.
But yeah, I think this is a pretty well constructed team. I can't lie. You're in pretty good shape. Let's move on to Furb, which right now is the last review that we're going to get to. Again, if any come in under the buzzer, we will get to it as well. 24 Garrett Magic, shout out. Drafted this startup with kickers as rookie picks. I took the value as it fell on the board, and now it feels like I'm stuck in the middle. While you're a strong rebuilder and you're number one in the analyzer, so maybe from a competitive standpoint, you're stuck in the middle. But as far as the actual value of the team, you're doing a good job. The guy with 5 firsts offered me 2 of them for Trey McBride. One of them has a good chance of being the 101. It's the guy with Tua as his second best quarterback. So let's go to that guy's team really quick. So he is in purgatory. If we sort by contending value, that guy's team is number 12. So yeah, it is currently. I mean, with Neighbors, with Henderson, with Irving, with Tetaroa, like this team. Danny, if you looked at a team like this, number 12 in the analyzer, and the bar from his team to the rest of the teams here are pretty far apart, you're essentially being offered the 2027 101 and an additional first for Trey McBride. Like this is the one that one of the ones that he's being offered for Trey McBride.
See ya, Trey.
Yeah.
See ya.
Especially as a strong rebuilder. Like,
what am I missing?
What
was the other piece on top of the one he said?
It's another first. So it's
you're getting the projected 101 plus another first for Trey McBride. Don't hit your fucking head on the way out of the door. See ya.
Yeah, I mean, so you're going after Heem Daddies first, and then what is the other one? Can you get Dog Buds first as well? Like he's number 11 in the analyzer. Like if I sort by contending value.
You can get me any other first, and I'm still doing it. Obviously, if you can get one of the earlier ones, that'd be fucking awesome.
So
but
Chugs is a contender. This guy's a contender. He's number 4. Hen Roos, where is that guy? Yeah, can you ask for Hen Russ's first as well?
Yeah, say hey, he's got Chase Jefferson. It's going to be a
quarterback.
He's got Chase and Jefferson. It's going to be a late one. You tell him to that guy. Obviously, you play it up a little bit. Or you know what you do to him? Say, how would you rank these ones? And see if he fucking puts one of your more favored ones at the top. If he doesn't, say just hypothetically, he puts the worst ones at the top, which he probably should. He puts the better projecting ones in terms of like earlier up in the order at the end of it.
Chugs in his own should be the latest of the 2 for sure.
Yeah.
And then Dog Buds is middle of the pack. Maybe he's more of a mid first. Like the order you should be going after them are Heem Daddy number 1, Hen Roos number 2, Dog Buds number 3, and then the other 2 are going to be treated as late. If he wants to give you one of those late first as the other first, see how much on top of the deal you'd have to add to get to Harold Fannin, because Harold Fannin is a 21-year-old tight end. So you'd be able to replace Trey McBride with a really, really young option and still have a tight end to build around. So if he offered you Harold Fannin, the projected 27-101, a late projected first, and you give him Trey McBride plus, throw in Josh Downs just to get it done or something like that, like I'd be totally fine doing that.
If you can, yeah. I'm not going to.
I don't have to push it though. Like I'm cool doing it for Trey McBride or Trey McBride for the projected 101 and even one of the later firsts.
Very good spot to be in, Furb. When you're number 1 and you say, quote unquote, I don't know where I'm going, but the offer they have in your inbox is to trade Trey McBride for that. The thing with Trey McBride, Corey, we can both admit right now, deep down, if I had to give you an allocation of 100% of a budget, let's just say, on percentage-wise, he maintains value. Percentage-wise, he goes down in value. Percentage-wise, he goes up in value. What, 5% he goes up?
I mean, he's going to be 27. It's probably unlikely he goes up, even if he has another season like he just had. Maybe he would go up in value if he had another season like he just had and the Cardinals had the first pick in the draft.
Yeah, that would be the
only way that would happen.
That would be probably the 5% scenario, I would say.
I would say it's probably like 10% that he just like, okay. I would say combining the gains and holds together, it's probably like 30%. He's worth 2.5, 3 first round picks now in a tight end premium. He's, got a 70% chance of going down a little bit in value. But again, if the Cardinals get a first overall pick or second overall pick quarterback, maybe he holds value even if he has a down season production wise.
Anytime it's about 60+% of the scenarios where they're going to go down in value. See ya. Bye. Yeah. I don't need your production.
Especially when you have a team like this and he's your oldest player as well. And even like Scadaboo and Price and those types of guys, like I want to try and tank my own first in addition to that guy's first. Like in an ideal world, you're going to have the 101 and the 102. Like your first can be as low as that other guy's. So shedding off like a Scadaboo for more first round capital, like I said, if that guy wants Trey McBride and Cam Scadaboo for the early first, the early to mid first, and then the mid first, like would you like if you can squeeze another one out of him and it's one of the mid ones for throwing Scadaboo into the deal because that guy's a competitive team, like why not? Why not try and do that as well? Because then you offload yet another competitive asset and get another pick capital asset that you can help rebuild this team into something even better. So definitely a great job out of the startup. Don't be too hard on yourself. I think you have a direction. The direction is to punt this thing and try and be as good of a pick that you get out of these deals as possible, and also tank your own pick at the same time.
If this is the going, because I know with Orphic Boo, this is a 1 quarterback league. I believe it's the team that I did.
It was the very first trade question.
Yeah, correct. Because he had Jalen Hurts as the starter, Kyler as the backup on that. So keep in mind 1 quarterback. So Kyler versus Jaden Daniels is less significant, but also still a huge upgrade. Jaden Daniels very much over Kyler. It's just not as much as it would be in a super flex. Scat, G Will, Olave, Kyler for Jaden Daniels, JSN, and Carnell Tate. I would argue this isn't enough for JSN alone.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, and he was trying. Yeah, I remember he was trying to trade for JSN earlier in the stream. Yeah, I think that's a great deal.
Yeah, if you could pull this off, Orphic Boo, absolutely do it. I believe this is his name was Dylan. So shout out Dylan.
Yeah. Yeah. So anything else on Furb here? Anything else that you would do in his position?
I mean, the McBride trade's obviously going to be a big time start. Outside of that, obviously reframe your demographic. Garrett Wilson a little bit older. You could sell
maybe tear down from Jalen Hurts, get younger.
Yeah, or I mean, if you wanted to transit, like, can you get Purdy plus? I think that would make sense. You get a little bit younger. If you wanted to go all the way down, you want to say, hey, I want Mendoza
Ward in a first or something like that.
Mendoza plus a 1, and you throw something back, like something along those lines. I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably need like Cam Ward a 1 and a 2, or Mendoza in a first, or something like that. Or you just go down a little bit, go down to Jackson Dart, Brock Purdy, Trevor Lawrence range. In most people's rankings, that's slightly worse. Knicks, he would make sense there as well. Yeah. Or collect multiple firsts for him too. So yeah, I would definitely keep working with that guy with the 5-1s, because first of all, I don't know how the hell this guy drafted a startup, came out as a strong contender, and pocketed 5 first-round picks. Like, this guy has a chance to win this league very easily this year. So what I would tell him is, dude, I don't know if he has the site or whatever, you can show him, dude, you're number 5 in the analyzer, and you're listed as the 4th best contender in this league, and you have 5 first-round picks of liquidity built up. You should spend those picks and make sure that you win the championship this year.
Snyder, I remember now. Yeah, I remember that. That was fucking lit.
There you go.
Yeah, because it was like you and your wife, and you would say "get flocked," and it would be a reaction after every roast. I remember now. No, that was high. That was fire.
I do remember that. I'd be willing. He said, "What's the most you're adding to that?"
Dude, I'd give 2 1s on top of that easily.
I'd give at least 1 on top of that for sure.
Dude, if I said it's worth JSN alone and it's a 1 quarterback league, Carnell Tate's easily worth 2 1s in a 1 quarterback league. I would do this straight up.
Yeah, I mean,
day with 2 more 1s.
Yeah, I would give 2 1s easily now that I'm looking at it, because Carnell Tate is worth Garrett Wilson plus Kyler to me. Scadaboo and Olave
in a 1 quarterback
equal one of those. Oh,
in a 1 quarterback, yes, it's probably Olave plus Scadaboo for Tate and Daniels.
I mean, Daniels is probably almost worth one of Scadaboo, Olave, or Wilson, even in a 1 quarterback league.
Yeah, I mean,
like, Daniels is still valuable in a 1 quarterback league.
Yeah, Daniels might be worth like
Scadaboo.
For East's sake, let's even say Scadaboo and Kyler, because Kyler has like no value in a quarterback.
And then JSN for Olave and Garrett Wilson, like, get out of here.
And then free Carnell
Tate. Like, give him a 1 at least, maybe even 2. So yeah, Furb, good job, man. Keep it going. Like I said, work at that 5 first-round picks guy, because you could probably offload some more competitive assets to him. And again, use the analyzer and aim for the first that project to be the earliest as well, where you can. So appreciate you guys a lot for tuning in. Appreciate the extra submissions that we got throughout this stream, particularly in my case as somebody who's getting married in 2 days, and we know how expensive weddings can be. So appreciate the support there, Jordan especially, with the two team reviews that he submitted. Tomorrow we're going to have the rage baiting each other's rankings video. On Saturday, 12 more things I learned from doing projections, the final 12 teams that I projected. And then after that, Danny's going to be in charge while I'm in the Grand Cayman Islands. So I'll probably won't see you guys face to face until midway through July, a week and a half before training camp opens.
Yeah, no doubt. Also appreciate all of you for tuning in. 2 hours and 13 later. I love how we're like, oh, we might go a little lighter on this stream. We just do another 2 hours just because we're always distracted.
Yeah, and one thing that you and I should do, honestly, Danny, is because as soon as July 25th hits, like it's all full gas, no breaks for you and I until January or whatever. Maybe when I come back, you do a little getaway of your own, because then I can cover for you and you can get a little bit of a break before shit gets, real crazy, because it will.
I have nowhere to go.
Yeah,
I have nowhere to go.
You're going to be watching Furb and tennis still and betting on, ping pong.
So during my haircut yesterday, I mentioned it, but like they had the tennis game going on the TV and I was just watching it while getting my cut. And again, the number 4 seed, the number 5 in the world, was like a minus 3,000 going into the game in the first round. And he fucking lost.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Insane. And I have the nerve.
To be fair, Danny won't be solo for a lot of them.
Yeah, still that's I might have to put you in timeout then, Dylan.
Yeah, and again, I just want to reiterate one last time that if you guys have a team review that you submit, just maybe even put in the notes, hey, save this for when Bush is back, or I don't mind if Danny does this one solo or whatever, just so we know if Danny has 7 or 8.
We'll just wait for you to get back.
Yeah, we can wait for me to get back unless it's very time sensitive. You can even message them, Danny, and say, hey, are you cool waiting until July 15th or whatever when Bush gets back?
Probably just going to wait because I don't want to offend anybody.
Yeah, exactly. So, appreciate all of you guys. By the way, I haven't really responded individually to people, but thank you, Nathan. Thank you, Arthur. Thank you, all of you people that are saying, congrats and, enjoy the honeymoon and stuff. Yes, I will do that. And, we'll see you guys in a bit. And, one last time, Redraft Rankings Manifesto version 1 out later today. Projections, all 32 teams out later today. And, then there'll be big updates when I get back. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. Peace out. Talk to you soon.